Chapter 465. If she can find Baojia by turning the horse around now, Lin Luoran will go there without hesitation. However, Windsor is indeed a little girl according to Lin Luoran's real age. This little girl is a princess of an empire. She is a princess of a strong country with a weak ruler. The Nami alliance ranks in the top 5 in Hanoi. If she can get the help of the Nami royal family, Lin Luoran will inevitably be tempted. She can't fight against the Alpha Alliance alone. What if the deterrence from the Nami alliance is added? Lin Luoran doesn't expect the Nami royal family to use military means for her. What she needs is very simple. At the critical moment, the Nami royal family will stand side by side with her as an ally and act as a cover. Lin Luoran will be satisfied. The attack of Huoli is enough to exchange for Windsor's kindness. Lin Luoran feels peaceful. The earth has experienced great changes. Her hometown is scorched and smoky, and she has lost her relatives. These factors add up and really change her temperament. In the past, she was not willing to get involved in the internal conflicts of the royal family. It was really troublesome. Aunt Lin, shall we go to the mountain forest and have a look? Ma Shuangshuang holds the horse's neck tightly and jogs all the way to the edge of the chain bridge. She stretches her neck and looks at the rapid river. She is yearning for the mountain forest on the other side of the chain bridge. Lin Luoran nods and agrees. Your current state of mind is to feel the scenery of nature more. Reiki in Ma Shuangshuang's body has been wandering. It's always right to get close to nature first to learn spells of the 5 elements. The chain bridge is dangerous. Lin Luoran is thinking about whether to abandon the horse and climb the mountain on foot. She hears the sound of horse hooves coming from afar. Alas, it's not good to have a sensitive ear. Han Weiya is not like Ma Shuangshuang. The latter looks slender and delicate, but in fact, she is a cultivator in the middle period of training qi. Her physical quality is still good. The bumpiness of riding a horse for beginners is not a problem for her. However, Han Weiya is really a weak woman. If Judith doesn't look after her carefully, she will fall off the horse before she can run far. Weir. Colin Weir and Ma Yiming follow the nervous Han Weiya unhurriedly. They slow down and the sound of horse hooves has already passed them and caught up with them. Sure enough, it is Duke Chao. Oh, Duke Chao looks even worse. After a short while, no one knows what stimulated him again. He doesn't even want to maintain his dignity. He scolds Windsor angrily. Windsor, you have such a vicious heart. If you don't want to marry this Grand Duke, then forget about this marriage, but you actually killed my younger brother. You've gone too far. Kill the Grand Duke's brother? Windsor is not only confused about this accusation. Even if she really did kill it, she can't admit it. So when she hears Duke Chao accusing her in public, Windsor lashes at him with her whip. Nonsense. Duke Chao slashes Windsor's horsewhip with his sword. He sneers several times. Others don't know what you are like in private, but do you think I don't know? Princess Windsor, do you really want me to tell you about the friend? My people found the wreckage of the starship on the M32 channel. Someone saw your starship pass there before. Windsor, what else do you have to say? Lin Luoran raises her eyebrows. Isn't the M32 route the place where she dealt with the starship? It seems that Duke Chao's brother is in that starship. Windsor takes the blame for her. However, Duke Chao doesn't seem to know the truth. He insists that Windsor killed his brother just because he knew that the friend happened to pass by at that time. She doesn't expect these troubles. This young man will find out about the Edward sooner or later. After all, the Edward and the friend come all the way together and there is nothing to hide. It seems that her decision to help Windsor become the heir is really right. Lin Luoran doesn't want to be hunted down in the Nami alliance. Running for her life is not good for personal ability enhancement. It is not what she pursues. Let's go, Princess Windsor. The 2 unmarried men and women are still in a stalemate. Lin Luoran breaks the silence. Colin and others all follow Lin Luoran to get off the horse and walk to the chain bridge. Windsor grits her teeth. I didn't kill your brother. It's up to you whether you believe it or not. It seems that we have to reconsider our marriage, Duke Chow. Chow sneers back. The wedding is approaching. Do you think you can still make the decision now? His hazy gray eyes flash. Chow stares at the backs of Lin Luoran and others. They are obviously lowly merchants, but they still dare to be prodigal in front of him. He will make them suffer. Duke Chow looks at the gloomy sky thoughtfully and leaves on his horse. Although Windsor didn't kill him, she is indeed an eyewitness. She still has to discuss this matter with Lin Luoran, so she doesn't notice Duke Chow's strange eyes. She ties the horse to the bridge and chases after Lin Luoran and others. After half an hour, the clouds in the sky are getting thicker and thicker. Seeing that heavy rain is about to fall, Duke Chow returns with his people. It's going to rain, Windsor. I hope you like the mountain camping that I give you. He has a smile on his face and his eyes are cold. He actually asks people to cut off the chain bridge connecting the manor and the mountain forest. He leaves without looking back. The river is flowing fast. Windsor herself has ordered that no one should disturb the manor. Princess Nami is destined to suffer a lot. Miss Lin, the weather changes too fast. It seems that it is going to rain. Shall we go back? Fatty Judith is so tired of climbing the mountain that he is out of breath. He can't wait to go back. When he sees the sky, he hurriedly preaches. Windsor is annoyed. Can you stop being so shameful? They are only halfway up the mountain. Even the two girls who seem to be blown down by the wind can do it easily. Windsor is very annoyed by the fat Judith. She is even more tempted by Lin Luoran's proposal. If the Nami Empire is handed over to her brother, her ancestors will probably crawl out of the royal mausoleum in anger. Lin Luoran finds a wild loquat. It is better than the loquat on the earth. It is ripe in summer with thin skin and lots of meat. She tastes it and feels it is very delicious. She picks many and distributes them to several people. Hearing Judith arguing with Windsor in a low voice, Lin Luoran spits out the loquat core. It's useless to go back now. Duke Chow sent a big gift to your sister and cut off the chain bridge. We can only camp in the mountain forest today. As soon as she finishes her words, God gives her face. Raindrops as big as beans immediately fall. The shade above their heads can still block the rain, but it is only temporary. Windsor is so angry that her face turns blue. From time to time, she looks fierce. Lin Luoran pats her on the shoulder. It's okay. Just think that you were bitten by a dog when you went out for a walk. You can't bite the dog back, can you? Camping is also a good experience. You may miss it when you think back in the future. The people following Lin Luoran are very excited. Camping. Even Will is one of them. Even Colin has never had this experience. Of course, he is looking forward to it. Judith is also very tempted. He feels that compared with the hard work of climbing the mountain, the excitement of spending the night outside suppresses this hard work. Camping is good. We can eat wild game. Of course, the Nami Star also has a wildlife protection law. They care about the environment and they really want to protect it. Even as a princess and a prince, it is not reasonable for them to go against the law with great fanfare. However, today they are blocked by the rain and Duke Chow cuts off the chain bridge. Judith feels that he has already smelled the meat of elk. Sorry, little dear. For the continuation of the royal family, you have to contribute. Lin Luoran holds back her laughter. If we don't find a place to shelter from the rain, we will become wild game ourselves in a while. Several people nod and quickly follow Lin Luoran's footsteps. She cheats with her spiritual mind. She finds a natural cave near the top of the mountain. When everyone goes there, everyone except Lin Luoran still has mud on their feet. Fortunately, they came here on horseback before. They are wearing leather boots and no one is wearing formal clothes. It is much lighter. After finding the cave, Lin Luoran quietly casts a cleaning spell to sweep away the dirt. Everyone quickly squeezes in. The cave is spacious and there is no problem to shelter them from the wind and rain. However, after a few minutes in the cave, Han Weiya and Judith, who are the weakest, sneeze again and again. Everyone is soaked. The later it is, the lower the temperature is. Since it is camping, it is fun to do it by oneself. Ma Shuangshuang wants to go out to pick up firewood. Lin Luoran flicks her head, you haven't learned the means of self-defense yet. Even the beasts will swallow you. Yiming, Colin, let's go to pick up firewood and find food. Shuangshuang, you stay and take care of the two patients. Windsor also wants to go forward. Lin Luoran doesn't refuse. The four of them look for dry branches as possible in the wind and rain. When they find them, they carry them to the cave. Lin Luoran sneaks a few more steps and finds a half-big wild boar grinding its teeth on a tree trunk. The species on Nami Star are still different from those on the Earth. This wild boar looks like a wild boar with red hair. It looks very non-mainstream. Lin Luoran flicks a branch and shoots it. The red-haired wild boar falls down. She pulls a vine to tie the wild boar and drags it back. At the place where they pick up firewood, Ma Yiming stares at a plant like a lotus leaf and carefully identifies it. Lin Luoran is happy at first sight, don't look at it. That is taro. We will have a good meal tonight. Ma Yiming and Colin swallow together. Lin Luoran is so good at eating that no one can catch up with her. If she says they will have a good meal, then they will really have a good meal. Ma Yiming and Colin are digging the taro. Lin Luoran drags the wild boar and pulls Windsor back. She tells them, be careful not to break the skin of the taro. Its juice can make your hands itch so much that you want to take off a layer of skin. Windsor holds the firewood and is secretly surprised. What is it? It is so powerful when it is touched by the juice. Can it really be eaten? Seeing the scene of two men carefully digging the taro, she feels very funny. The gloom of being bitten by the dog is gone. She sneaks a look at Lin Luoran, who is dragging the wild boar leisurely. It seems that staying with her always makes people feel warm and peaceful. Chapter 466. The firewood is wet by the rain and the smoke is choking. If Lin Luoran doesn't quietly roll most of the yellow smoke out of the cave, people in this cave will be smoked into human-shaped bacon. Even so, except for Lin Luoran and Ma Yiming, when the raging bonfire is finally ignited, the faces or hands of others who usually don't produce are covered with a lot of black ash. Their faces become dirty, but the distance is shortened. It is raining heavily outside the cave and the aroma of meat has drifted out of the earthen pot above the bonfire. Wild boar is very chewy. It can be used as barbecue or cooked in the earthen pot. It is also delicious. In particular, Lin Luoran throws some tender stems of bracken she found in the monster forest before to stew it. It is warm in summer with the original bitterness of wild boar. The aftertaste is still fragrant. There is a thin layer of soil under the bonfire. Yam eggs dug by Ma Yiming and Colin are buried. Lin Luoran sees the wild boar is cooked with bracken and then takes out the yam with a branch. In the Huaxia of the earth before the new era, people of Lin Luoran's generation grew up in the countryside. When they were young, they would throw potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams and other things into the fire when the adults were burning wheat straws. When the fire is gone, the things are cooked. The potatoes are burnt, the sweet potatoes are sweet, and the yams are soft. She distributes the black yams to everyone, try it. It is delicious. Camping requires wild fun. Lin Luoran doesn't take out bowls and chopsticks in front of the Windsors. She goes to cut a big bamboo not far away. The bamboo tube is the bowl and the bamboo branch is the chopsticks. She distributes the bracken and wild boar soup in the earthen pot. Everyone peels the black skin of the roasted yams and eats them together with the soup. They not only enjoy the delicious taste but also have no problem filling their stomachs. One more bowl. Judith swallows quickly. With his appetite, a few yams are just enough to fill the gap between his teeth. A large pot of broth is eaten by the fatty except that everyone drinks one bowl each. Windsor's cheeks are black ash. In the warm atmosphere, she rarely pulls Judith's ear. With the aroma of food, everyone is chatting. They talk about everything. Han Weiya finishes eating the sweet potato and lowers her head. Lin, can I call you aunt like Shuang Shuang? If you hadn't brought me out, I wouldn't have imagined that I would be living such a life. Lin Luoran lowers her head. Isn't such a life similar to escape? Even she longs to return to her homeland, let alone Han Weiya, a little girl who has never left her family since she was a child and has never suffered. The girl looks at her with a little shyness and firmness. It's just a title. Lin Luoran nods. Han Weiya smiles and hands something to her. Aunt, this is for you as your niece. There was a piece of navy blue stone in his palm. It was 2 inches long and 2 fingers wide. It was the 10,000-year hollow azurite. Do you know how valuable this item is? Han Weiya nods. Transforming Reiki when meeting elixirs is the most desirable Reiki mineral for alchemists. Windsor and her younger brother are confused. How could such a small stone be a great treasure? Lin Luoran knows that Han Weiya is usually too lazy to think about it. She is naturally silly but not stupid. She also has a smart side in her character. She deliberately chooses the time when outsiders are present. It seems the most inappropriate, but it makes Lin Luoran unable to refuse. Lin Luoran is not forcing a confession. The girl is afraid that her heart will be rejected. Lin Luoran looks at Han Weiya. In the latter's eyes, there is admiration, desire, nervousness, trust, but there is no panic. It seems that she has made up her mind to give the 10,000-year hollow azurite. Lin Luoran just doesn't know who leaked the news to her. Anyway, Han Weiya's action also makes Lin Luoran make up her mind. Lin Luoran reaches out and takes the stone in Han Weiya's hand. The 10,000-year hollow azurite in her palm is cold. Lin Luoran smiles. As an aunt, I am greedy. Since you are so filial, can you give me another marrow-cleansing bolus? Of course. There are only a few things left by Danling Taoist. Han Weiya has always taken the marrow-cleansing bolus with her. Hearing Lin Luoran's request, she hands the bottle to Lin Luoran without hesitation. Lin Luoran only takes one and returns the jade bottle to the girl. Remember, when I find Mancia, I will find you. Nolan will help you build your Tao foundation so that you can cultivate from now on. Of all the people present, except for the Windsors, who didn't know about cultivation, Ma Yiming and Ma Shuangshuang, who are new to personal ability enhancement, are shocked. Han Weiya, who is no stranger to personal ability enhancement, is so surprised and unbelievable. Will. Colin is so envious that his eyes turn red. The Taoist root. It is impossible for a person who is not from Huaxia to have the Taoist root for cultivation. This kind of defect determines that cultivation will always be the path of evolution for a small group of people. It also makes the cultivation civilization decline and become a thing of the past. The rise of scientific and technological civilization conforms to the law of nature. It's not about individual evolution, but the progress of the entire planet and civilization. He has read a lot of materials, but he has never heard of a cultivator who can build the Taoist root for others. Will. Colin suddenly remembers another identity of Lin Luoran, mortal heart fairy who protects Dongting. Could it be that she, who he had spent so much time with, was really an immortal above the cultivators in the legends of China? What are you talking about? If you don't drink the broth, it will all be mine. Judith has something in his mouth and he breaks the quiet atmosphere. Lin Luoran glances at him and suddenly smiles at Windsor. There is a saying in my hometown that eating is a blessing. Your brother is a lucky person. Windsor doesn't know why the topic changes so quickly. Will. Colin knows that compared with this shrewd princess, Lin Luoran may really like her brother who only knows how to eat. Eating is a blessing. The bonfire is not extinguished. Everyone falls asleep on the rock wall. Judith snores slightly when he sleeps. Lin Luoran can't help laughing. Thinking that everyone is asleep, Lin Luoran wakes up Ma Shuangshuang and Ma Yiming. She makes a shushing gesture at them and signals them to follow her out. The rain is getting lighter. Lin Luoran climbs to the top of the mountain with the brother and sister. Ma Shuangshuang is fine. She has the Taoist root of two natures. She has passed the early stage of training qi, so she has sharp ears and eyes. She can see things at night, so she is not too embarrassed. However, Ma Yiming's Taoist root is mottled. As Lin Luoran speeds up, he has a hard time moving forward. In the night rain, Ma Yiming doesn't complain. Even if he stumbles, he doesn't fall behind others. The rain wets the clothes of the brother and sister. Ma Yiming's vital energy and blood are surging at the beginning. However, in such a rush, all sounds are hidden. Only his heartbeat is clearly distinguishable. Thump. 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 From impatience to calmness, he has a circulation in his chest. His pores are wide open and he greedily breathes oxygen. In the rush, he actually calms down. This is really a very mysterious situation. Ma Yiming can only feel qi before. He has never felt that Reiki molecules flow in through his pores with oxygen. The night has become a colorful world in front of him. Green, blue, black, gold, wood, water, earth, and even gold are buried under the mountains. There are no fire Reiki molecules in the mountain forest on a rainy night. Tonight is destined to belong to Ma Yiming. Lin Luoran leads the way. Every time she takes a step, she will step on the place with the densest Reiki. The brother and sister of the Ma family who follow her will have a different feeling. The nature of wood is nourished by the rain. The rain falls into a stream and penetrates into the depths of the soil. Ma Shuangshuang feels that she is like a pine tree in the mountains. While being watered by the rain, she is deeply rooted in the fragrant soil. She has the nature of earth and wood. According to the traditional division of the 5 elements of Huaxia, wood restrains earth, but water gives birth to wood. Is the so-called restraint of the 5 elements just because people haven't found the delicate balance between wood and earth? If one takes a step forward, they will restrain each other. What about the back? They will not invade each other. Besides, there is water to balance them. The special environment tonight belongs to her brother Ma Yiming and Ma Shuangshuang, who also has the nature of 2 elements. She feels that the Reiki in her body is surging. They are looking for an outlet. How should she use them? Ma Shuangshuang is confused. The heavy rain suddenly has no shelter and the wind is much stronger. It turns out that she and Aunt Lin have rushed to the top of the mountain. In the night, the maple leaf city not far away is clearly visible. The dim lights are swaying in the rain. Ma Yiming hears Lin Luoran's slow and powerful voice, "Yiming, open your mind, feel the Reiki of heaven and earth, and recite the breathing method silently." Ma Yiming unconsciously leans against a green pine, immersing himself in this rainy night in the most comfortable posture. "Shuangshuang, look at my emblematic gesture." Emblematic gesture? Ma Shuangshuang's heart jumps. Is it the spell of the 5 elements she has been studying recently? The fingers of Lin Luoran's right hand are slender and flexible. They even shine like jade in the rain. Ma Shuangshuang sees Lin Luoran raising her hand, putting her thumb on the 3rd knuckle of her index finger near the root, and her little finger intersecting with her thumb. Ma Shuangshuang can't help but follow. Every time Lin Luoran changes her gesture, her fingertips seem to pinch the muscles and bones of Reiki. This kind of pulse makes the whole set of emblematic gestures full of indescribable beauty. After 36 sets of emblematic gestures, green light condenses on Lin Luoran's fingertips. This is a simple spell of the nature of wood, but it enlightens Ma Shuangshuang, who has been studying the spells of the 5 elements for a long time. She is like Li Shi, in the past. She has been overprotected since she was a child and her heart is pure. In the early stage of personal ability enhancement, she has more convenient conditions than others. With a pure heart, it is easier for her to sense the molecules of Reiki between heaven and earth. Therefore, Ma Shuangshuang's early personal ability enhancement is smooth enough to make her brother Ma Yiming jealous. Therefore, after being enlightened, Ma Shuangshuang can't help but follow Lin Luoran to make emblematic gestures. The green light on Lin Luoran's fingertips hasn't disappeared yet. She finishes the last emblematic gesture and the Reiki in her body surges out from her fingertips, a small green light shines. Ma Shuangshuang points to a mushroom under the tree. The green light goes in and the mushroom shoots many spores. The attack spells of the nature of wood can only be learned when the personal ability is high. However, Lin Luoran feels that Ma Shuangshuang has done a good job. Ma Yiming on the side is in a peaceful state of mind. It seems that he has fallen asleep. Ma Shuangshuang is fascinated by the newly learned spells. Lin Luoran jumps on the pine and feels the summer rain with her eyes closed. The three of them don't waste the night. Lin Luoran doesn't open her eyes and jump down from the tree until dawn. The rain has stopped. Everything in the forest is washed and refreshed. Pine needle dew, bamboo leaf beads, flower honey, and mushrooms under the soil layer. The siblings of the Ma family cultivate all night and they are refreshed. They randomly pick up a few mushrooms and some edible wild berries. The three of them soon return to the cave where they stay. Everyone has woken up. Colin, an outdoor fan, takes several people to collect rainwater stored in the rock low-lying places to wash. The cold water can make people sober instantly when it is poured on their faces. Looking closely during the day, they see that their clothes are covered with mud. Windsor laughs and she has practiced a complete set of body arts. The remaining half of wild boar meat last night can't be wasted. Lin Luoran cooks mushroom porridge and everyone is full. Judith takes the initiative to carry the wild boar meat down the mountain. It is said that it is easy to go up the mountain but difficult to go down the mountain. The slippery muddy road is not a problem for them. When they arrive at the river where the rain converges and becomes more turbulent, Lin Luoran laughs at Duke Chao's childish idea. She raises her hand and releases the skeleton boat. She pulls the stunned Windsor siblings down the boat. It can barely carry all of them. Making a spell, they go ashore easily. Windsor whispers, "I will take you to Ms. Mancia now." Her tone is firm. It seems that it is not a sudden idea and she is not afraid that Lin Luoran will renege after achieving her goal. Windsor just understands that even without her help, with Lin Luoran's ability, it will only take a few more days to find a person on the Nami star. Even if Ms. Mancia's residence is a bit remote. Lin Luoran nods and turns to several people. She says, "Come with me." Taking so many people with her, Lin Luoran doesn't admit that she is afraid of expecting too much. Is that person not Baojia? No, she had a hunch that even Mancia. Even Nolan Mancia is not Baojia. As long as she finds this person, she will definitely find Baojia. If they are in a hurry, there are also extremely fast, classic cars, on the Nami star. They consume low energy, have no exhaust and are fast. They run as fast as lightning. They can go up mountains as if they are on flat ground and go into water as if they are fishing boats. It is the first time for her to see a dual-purpose car. This is the difference in technology. The gap is deep. They go north all the way. One day later, everyone gets off the car. They climb over a mountain full of sand on their feet and then come to the valley with green grass. It is cool and familiar. That is the fluctuation of Reiki. Lin Luoran almost cries. There is a magic circle fluctuation in the valley. Windsor has thrown the token into the valley. The mist suddenly rises. Even Lin Luoran, the mother of clarity, can't see the situation in the valley for the time being. However, the cottage she sees at a glance is clearly in the style of ancient Huaxia architecture. She is more and more convinced that the owner of the valley is Baojia. She is so anxious that she throws the token into the valley. However, she doesn't receive a reply after waiting for a day. Windsor says Mancia. Nolan Mancia is unsociable. This kind of situation has happened before. Windsor's wedding day is approaching. She needs to make some arrangements to break the engagement. Lin Luoran asks her to go back first. Leaving everyone outside the valley, Lin Luoran decides to break the magic circle alone. She is not without help. She has told White Fairy about 10,000-year hollow azurite. White Fairy takes the initiative to help. The white mist in the valley is not clear. It is actually a magic circle of illusion. White Fairy is good at illusion spells. She is also a soul, so the magic circle is not particularly difficult for her. The so-called illusion is to cover up the truth with falsehood. It allows you to see the truth as the truth. As long as you stay true to yourself, you have a good chance to find the core of the magic circle and get out smoothly. One step into the illusion, and there are gentle traps everywhere. She seems to have crossed the time tunnel. What appears in front of her is the yard of the Lin family 300 years ago, which was full of laughter. Koi fish play in the water, Cyan Fox is awkward, Goldie is proud, Luodong is so young, and Huang Weijian is still the silent young man. Mr. Lin comes back from fishing with a great harvest. Mrs. Lin is gentle and beautiful. She is more than 10 years younger. It is the best time of the Lin family. Everything is just right. Appearance is born from the heart. Lin Luoran's heart is lost. She knows that this is an illusion created according to her heart. Why can't she wake up? Stay true to yourself. White Fairy sighs. She is a little soft-hearted and reluctant to wake her up. Lin Luoran knows that she doesn't want to wake up. The so-called illusion is to cover up the truth with falsehood, cultivation is to cultivate the true self. Get rid of the falsehood and keep the truth. As long as you stay true to yourself, you can find the core of the magic circle. You have to see the essence of the mountain. The essence of the mountain is buds, soil, gophers, crickets, insects, snakes, withered branches, flowers, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. White Fairy's words to guide her through the illusion circle and the words of the man in robe in her dream, you have to see the essence of the mountain. Lin Luoran doesn't know when they are intertwined. A voice is shouting inside her body. Gather your vitality, gather your vitality. White Fairy stands aside and feels the changes in Lin Luoran's body. She is shocked. No one has ever gathered vitality while breaking through the magic circle. No, she can't do it here. The minor heaven's doom will disturb the Reiki in the illusion circle in the valley, which will cause irreversible damage to Lin Luoran who is gathering vitality. The moment when the golden elixir breaks through and gathers vitality is the most vulnerable moment for a cultivator. No, she has to wake up. White Fairy floats forward but is knocked away by the light curtain. After all, she is only a soul and can't stop Lin Luoran who is in the illusion circle. White Fairy rarely feels desperate. Most of what she wants depends on Lin Luoran. If Lin Luoran dies here, there is no chance for her to make a comeback. White Fairy grits her teeth and draws her own soul power, trying to make a bigger and more real illusion circle to pull Lin Luoran back from the abyss. However, before she moves, the sweet sound of wind chimes comes from the door of the cottage. A pair of hands hold the door frame, and a delicate face without any emotion is slowly revealed. She has beautiful black hair and a pair of long and narrow eyes. She looks at Lin Luoran with confusion. Like Lin Luoran, she has a single phoenix pearl hairpin in her hair. The blue pearl is beautiful. Not only the person, but also the hairpin has been gone for more than 300 years. The two phoenix hairpins in their hair sensed each other's existence. They buzzed and trembled as they detached from their owner's hair and flew next to each other playfully. With a clanging sound, the bright sword and the snow sword combined to form the bright snow sword. Chapter 467. The woman puts her hand on the door frame. The temperature in the valley is low. The woman wears a robe under her plain clothes. She is immersed in the newly acquired star-shining gem and she doesn't pay attention to the token of the Nami royal family. However, the person still breaks into the magic circle. Many Nami people have helped to identify the power of the illusion circle. They don't want to pay attention to it, but they feel that the illusion circle is about to collapse. Reiki in the valley swarms into the circle. She has to show up. The person in the illusion circle in the valley is a little confused and familiar to her. The phoenix hairpin, which has never left her body since she woke up, is the first to react. The two phoenixes meet and there is a clear sound. She looks at the two hairpins flying in the air. They merge into one and become a big blue sword. She finally shows a shocked expression. The person in the valley fights against the illusion. She opens her eyes and wakes up. Tears flow before she speaks. Her eyes are like shining stars, so bright that people dare not look at them directly. Baojia, she hears the woman calling softly. It is not the interstellar common language or the Nami language. It is the earth on the other side of the starry sky. There used to be a big country called Huaxia. It was located in the southwest of Chuan province. She was startled, and something seemed to be rushing out of her chest. Some blurry images flashed past her mind. There were students in the classroom whose faces were hard to recognize, simple and crude rooms, and colorful scenes of people riding horses and admiring flowers. She feels cold on her cheeks. She raises her hand and touches it. Is she crying? How can she cry for the woman in front of her? Subconsciously, she dispels the illusion circle. Nolan Mancia. Nolan Mancia steps forward and looks at the woman in the circle for a long time. She asks in a hoarse voice, "What did you call me just now?" Mancia. Nolan Mancia doesn't realize that she is also using her mother tongue, which she hasn't practiced for a long time. She also deliberately slows down her tone. However, the woman in the valley still seems to be pricked by a needle. Baojia, the word Baojia gives her a splitting headache. Mancia. Nolan Mancia barely props up with her elbows. Who the hell are you? Facing Mancia. Nolan's question caused the woman in the valley to feel dizzy. Her chi and blood surged, and she spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. White Fairy watches this farcical recognition. In the hundreds of years of personal ability enhancement, she has encountered a lot of unsatisfactory things, not just the pain of parting from a close friend. However, she has never encountered such a thing. After 300 years, one party searches for her across the galaxy while the other party has long forgotten her old friend. Looking at Lin Luoran, White Fairy sighs. First, he almost formed his nascent soul on the spot. After he was forcefully pulled back, he was stimulated and his aura became chaotic. Little Linny probably wouldn't have an easy time passing this trial. White Fairy finishes telling the limited information she knows and then ignores Mancia, who is in a daze. Nolan doesn't know what to do with Lin Luoran. He just turns into a wisp of smoke and returns to the bead. The sword of bright snow was still floating in the air. The familiar yet strange feeling wouldn't lie to him. Mancia. Nolan looks at Lin Luoran carefully. Lin Luoran's chest is stained with blood, but the outline of her eyebrows and eyes is really like a fragment of memory. Was this her best friend? Mancia. Nolan can't help but fall into memories. The drastic change of the earth has almost melted away the last bit of Reiki. Except for the Dongting Lake area, which is blessed by the power of faith, other places on the earth are polluted by turbid air. The gray fog not only makes mortals die of old age, but also disappears from the ozone layer. A large amount of gray fog pours into the earth. Animals mutate and plants can't survive. The beautiful Qingqing mountain is scorched and the land is red for thousands of miles. The crazy Taoist extracted the water Reiki from the waters of Dujianjian to nourish the soul wood. After this great change, the Earth's water system is deeply polluted. The yin and yang dust circle shuts down and gives up the nourishment of water Reiki. Only a small wood Reiki mine under the Qingqing Taoist temple provides nutrients for the soul wood and her in the soul wood. Mancia. Nolan still remembers the year when she woke up. It was the 243rd year of the Gregorian calendar of the new era. She escaped from a withered tree. She was ignorant and almost died under the claws of mutant monsters on the spot. When her life was at stake, her body reacted instinctively. The hairpin on her head turned into a sword and she killed the offending mutant monsters one by one. Covered with monster blood, she stood on the scorched land and was at a loss. When her life was at stake, her body could burst out powerful killing moves, sharp swords that could kill anything, and the ocean of consciousness with nothing in her mind. She vaguely remembered that this was a way of personal ability enhancement. She was a female cultivator. However, there were more things in the past. Why did she wake up in the withered tree? Who put her in? Who is she? What she remembers is just an anonymous formula and a few simple spells. She doesn't even know the sword spell. Oh, there is also a group of knowledge about magic circle that seems to be forced into her mind. Mancia. Nolan still remembers the panic at that time. She was alone with a long sword on her back. She walked in the scorched ruins of the Rome city which was beyond recognition. A group of mercenaries found her and took her back to Dongting City. She had thought that the group of people had good intentions, but it turned out that they had secretly discussed to sell her, who had no personal information, without anyone knowing. It was ridiculous that the group of people didn't know that she had sharp ears and eyes. She could see what happened on the wall without her eyes. At that time, she was a little disappointed but not too angry. The Earth's Reiki was exhausted. She could feel that the power in her body didn't advance but retreated. The environment here was not suitable for personal ability enhancement. She thought about it. Anyway, she didn't have the personal information they talked about. It was very difficult for her to get out of the earth by herself. She pretended to be ignorant and was sold to human traffickers by several people. She wanted to leave the earth by herself. However, those human traffickers saw that she was beautiful. They originally wanted to sell her to the Desolate Star as a coolie for reclamation. However, they changed their mind and wanted to sell her to a noble family of the Alpha Alliance. She was impatient to deal with them and wanted to leave by herself. An old man with a white beard in the lower cabin grabbed her arm and cried. In her memory, she seemed to have a very close person. Was he around this age? She was soft-hearted. An old man at that age would die in less than a year if he was sold out of the Desolate Star. At night, she escaped with the old man. However, she was chased as a fugitive slave because she underestimated the technological civilization of the Alpha Alliance. She wandered the stars with the old man and came to the Nami Alliance. However, they were separated on the way to exile. Until she met a Marquis of the Nami Star, she was adopted as an adopted daughter because she had no heir. Then she had a decent identity. From then on, she was called Nolan. Nolan inherited most of the inheritance after the death of her adoptive mother. Because she was impatient with her adoptive mother's family, she spent a lot of money to build this Xanadu in a remote valley. On the way of personal ability enhancement, let nature take its course. However, jewelry design was engraved in her bones. In the end, she couldn't help but embark on this road. At first, it was just a small business. However, after a few years, she became famous. Nolan sighed. The Nami star was technologically advanced. The average lifespan of the Nami people was about 240 years. She had been in Nami for more than 80 years, but her appearance had not changed at all. Instead, with the improvement of personal ability, she became younger and younger. People who lived more than 100 years on the Nami star would not be in their early 20s no matter how well they took care of themselves. Seeing that she did not age, Nolan became more reclusive. Nolan lives in seclusion. She can live a good life only by selling jewelry to the Nami royal family. In the dead of night, when she is practicing breathing, she can't concentrate. As her personal ability increases, her almost blank memory seems to come back a little. Sometimes she could even remember skating in Beideha Huaxia when she was a child. However, she couldn't think of anything that could reveal her identity. Nolan. Nolan wakes up from her memories. There was a soft couch in her design room. When she was tired of work, she often took a nap near it. At this time, a woman in a green dress was lying on the soft couch. This kind of dress was very similar to the white dress she wore when she first woke up. The material was extraordinary. Obviously, it was a cultivator's item, including the flying sword that was combined into one. To be honest, after she settled on the Nami star, she had secretly inquired about cultivators, but she got nothing. The Nami Alliance was a pure technological civilization. It had never heard of cultivators. There were cultivators on the Earth, but that was 300 years ago. Nolan. For a time, Nolan didn't want to find her fellow cultivators. Until this female cultivator broke into the circle and called her Baojia. Is Baojia her real name? Because of her amnesia, the female cultivator's blood and wakan were in disorder. She vomited blood and fainted. In addition, they were divided into two and each held a flying sword. She was sure that they were either close friends or sisters. Then why did she wake up alone and wander among the stars? The female cultivator had a high fever. Nolan cast healing spell several times but it didn't work. She wanted to dredge her meridians with wakan, but the person in a coma had a higher personal ability than her. Nolan frowned. The unconscious female cultivator gave her an indescribable sense of familiarity. However, she couldn't remember anything about her past. She didn't want the female cultivator to die. She could only inject gentle water wakan into the female cultivator's body, trying to calm the restless wakan flow in her meridians. Baojia. Baojia, I'm sorry, Lin Luoran murmured in her dream. How could Baojia not remember her? She must blame her for coming to her after so many years, so she deliberately scared her. Subconsciously comforting herself, Lin Luoran slept more soundly. Chapter 468. Aunt Lin, the illusion circle has been closed. Ma Shuangshuang and others can also peep at the situation in the valley. At sunset, Lin Luoran still doesn't move after entering the valley. Ma Yiming takes the lead and walks into the valley. There are winding streams and dense grass. There is a vegetable field in front of the house and some common herbs are planted on the right side. Some stones are piled up on the other side of the house. It is indeed a place where the famous designer lives in seclusion. Ma Yiming carefully looks at the closed door of the wooden house. Suddenly, the door is opened and a woman in a pale dress comes out with a single phoenix blue pearl hairpin in her hair. When she glances at them with her long and narrow eyes, they feel irresistible majesty. Ma Shuangshuang, whose personal ability is slightly higher, feels it the most. Being stared at by the woman, she can't help but want to step back. This is a senior cultivator. The famous designer of the Nami star is actually a female cultivator. Judging from her appearance, she seems to be from Huaxia on the earth. Ma Yiming sees his sister is surrounded by Nolan Mansia. Nolan Mansia stands in front of Ma Shuangshuang with her momentum. Who are you? Nolan Mansia guesses that these people may be juniors who follow Lin Luoran. She just gives them a little lesson with her spiritual mind for breaking into the valley. As soon as she speaks, these people are suddenly relieved. Ma Yiming makes a nondescript ancient salute with his hands folded. I wonder if senior cultivator has seen Aunt Lin. Nolan Mansia squints. I don't know who Aunt Lin is. However, I just caught a female cultivator who broke into the valley. She is in that house. You'd better take her away as soon as possible. Nolan Mansia finishes her words and leaves. It has been nearly 100 years since she woke up. In all her memories and experiences, there is no existence of the person in the house. There are only a few fragments of the past that flashes occasionally. After 100 years, she can't even remember what kind of personality she used to have. Why does she want to take over the previous life that has nothing to do with the present? Her name is Mansia. Nolan Mansia is not Baojia. Since she woke up, she has never had a friend named Lin Luoran. Ma Yiming and others look at each other and squeeze into the house. Sure enough, Lin Luoran is blushing and sleeping on a soft couch. The single phoenix hairpin she usually wears is clenched in her hand. Judging from this, even Han Weiya Mancia won't believe that the female cultivator is not Lin Luoran's old acquaintance. But her name was Mancia. The seniors of Nolan obviously don't welcome them. Ma Yiming and Colin discuss. They tear their clothes into strips and make a simple stretcher with a few wooden sticks piled on the side of the house. They carefully carry Lin Luoran out of the valley. No one knows what happened in the valley before. In their hearts, Lin Luoran is so powerful that she is omnipotent. Although this female designer's personal ability is very high, her brilliance is not as restrained and low-key as Aunt Lin. Ma Shuangshuang has an intuition that Mancia is very powerful. Nolan could not defeat her Aunt Lin, but it was precisely because of this that the situation became more complicated. What happened? Aunt Lin's cultivation was higher than Manjia's. Nolan was tall, but he couldn't beat her. The atmosphere was somewhat oppressive. They were terrified as if they had lost their backbone. Several people take turns to carry Lin Luoran, who is sleeping on the shelf. They climb over the barren mountain and feel thirsty and hungry. Then they realize that they have been relying on Lin Luoran for a long time and never thought of preparing food and water. The other 3 people are fine. Even Colin, who doesn't cultivate, has physical skills. Only Han Weiya's face is as white as paper. When she sees the green forest, she almost falls to the ground. If it weren't for her wind boots, which can make people walk briskly, Han Weiya would be more than tired at this time. Her feet would be full of blisters. Seeing the green, everyone is sincerely happy. 2 people stay to take care of the unconscious Lin Luoran, and others go to find water and food. The division of labor is clear. Ma Yiming once ambushed a high-level mutant beast in the wild for several days and nights. He lived on compressed biscuits. However, there are many dangers in the real jungle. He lacks experience, so he even mixed a handful of mushrooms with poisonous mushrooms. Colin is ignorant, but he has been to many planets and is very knowledgeable. He picks out poisonous mushrooms. Without the spell of the earth, he can't make earthen pots, so he has to cut bamboo to make pots. Ma Shuangshuang catches a fat grouse. Thanks to the binding spell of the wood she has just learned, she cooks a pot of salty and tasteless grouse mushroom soup. They try to let Lin Luoran eat first, but she can't drink the chicken soup at all. After eating this tasteless chicken soup, Ma Yiming thinks they should go back to Maple Leaf City to seek help first. However, Colin is against it. I'm afraid that Duke Chow is in a deadlock with Princess Windsor now. Miss is injured now. If we go back, we will fall into the trap. If he finds out the truth of what happened on the M32 channel that day, are you sure you can take Miss to board the Edward successfully and escape? Ma Yiming lowers his head. Yes, he is not sure. The nobles on Nami Star all have their own forces. Now their backbone is seriously injured. Princess Windsor can't fight against Duke Chow. The fire is spreading. It is normal for that man to attack the Edward because of his arrogance. The Edward stays in Satellite 1 and is protected by Nami law. It is safe. Colin persuades the 3 people. They decide to stay in the jungle for a while to see the situation. They cut branches and take twigs and broad banana-like leaves to build a shed. When night falls, they are all at a loss. The bonfire attracts a group of Nami forest wolves. Ma Yiming and Colin fight bravely. They protect Han Weiya, Ma Shuangshuang, and Lin Luoran, who is in a coma until dawn. When the light of the star illuminates the jungle again, Colin and Ma Yiming's smiles are not relaxed. Wolves are the most vengeful beasts. They have killed more than one wolf. It is estimated that they will suffer for a few days. The silver lining in the misfortune is that Han Weiwei and Lin Luoran have stayed up all night to take care of Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran's fever has gone down. They feel that Lin Luoran should wake up soon. When the star sinks again, Lin Luoran is still in a coma. In this case, no one is in the mood to go out to find food. They don't care about the coarse wolf meat. They cut a few pieces of the forest wolf they killed last night and cook them. It is hard and uncomfortable in their mouths. No one can swallow it. At this moment, something in Ma Yiming's arms buzzes and vibrates. It is the communicator given by Windsor. Ma Yiming points the camera at the other side of the jungle and then connects the communicator. Windsor's gorgeous face is pale and her lips are dry. The picture is intermittent and the signal is very poor. She only says one sentence, "Miss Lin, the principality is in a mutiny. In the name of Princess Nami, I ask for your help." The background of the communicator is a cold palace, dark and gloomy. Windsor is under house arrest on the eve of the wedding. The old king is critically ill. Windsor and Judith are under house arrest. Duke Chao's people have basically controlled the capital. Looking at the intermittent signal, this is clearly Windsor's last chance to ask for help. Ma Yiming's mouth is dry. If he says that Lin Luoran is seriously injured at this moment, won't he break Windsor's faith? But if he doesn't say it, what can they change with just a few of them? Windsor doesn't get a reply for a long time. She has already been desperate. She is smart. How can she not know that something unexpected must have happened to Lin Luoran? "Miss Lin, you stay calm first. I will be back soon." Ma Yiming suddenly hears a familiar voice. He looks back in amazement. Lin Luoran has stood up at some point. She looks normal. Aunt Lin is cured. Ma Yiming is happy at first, but he is also shocked by the sad faces of his sister and Han Weiya. Windsor gets a guarantee. The signal is also cut off at this time. Lin Luoran frowns and spits out blood again. It turns out that Aunt Lin's injury is not cured at all. Han Weiya and Ma Shuangshuang both come up to help her with red eyes. Lin Luoran waves her hand, "I have to rush back to Maple Leaf City first. You guys go back to the Edward later. Don't get off the ship without my notice." "Aunt Lin." "Your injury," Lin Luoran smiles calmly, "don't worry. I won't die. You guys go now." Windsor should have left a car outside the jungle. Don't leave from Maple Leaf City. Go to Acropolis number 1 from other cities. After saying this, she looks back at the valley where Baojia is. Since she has left the valley when she wakes up, it is enough to prove that Baojia has not recognized her. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran feels the blood rushing up in her throat. However, since she came back from Mount Penglai, she has experienced so many parting experiences. She could survive at that time. Now she can do it too. Chapter 469. Of course, people don't know the undercurrent of Maple Leaf City. Tomorrow is the wedding day of the royal princess and the young Duke Chao. Tonight, Maple Leaf City is destined to be a carnival all night long. Lin Luoran flies on her sword and soon returns to Maple Leaf City. The capital is magnificent. Whether it is the sky, the ground, or the city walls, defense is everywhere. It is impregnable. Even spiritual mind scanning will trigger the alarm. The Nami alliance is not just for show. The Nami star has shown signs of weakening for hundreds of years. However, the royal family is still there. The cutting-edge technology is not something that Lin Luoran, who grew up before the new era of the Earth, can know in advance. Especially tonight, Windsor says that there is a mutiny in the principality. It can be seen that Duke Chao controls the palace. The news that the princess breaks off the engagement has not come out at all. Duke Chao Frank deliberately trapped Windsor in the barren mountain that day. It seems that it is not just a moment of impulse. The defense is hundreds of times stronger than the Edward starship. Besides, this time there will be no little traitor like Xiaoji to help her. Lin Luoran frowns. She finally knows that the cutting-edge technology is also a huge threat to cultivators. Maybe her personal ability is not good enough. Besides, she is injured. Lin Luoran hides in the crowd. The Nami people in Maple Leaf City are partying all night. The fragrance of beer and bread is everywhere. Surveillance is everywhere around the hot girl barbecue restaurant. The hired red-haired young man Derek looks happy. It seems that the business is good today. This kid doesn't even notice it. The happiest people are those who are simple-minded. Lin Luoran coughs badly. Her spiritual mind probes into space and asks White Fairy if there is any spell to change her appearance. Only spells can change appearance. Do you think you can learn it in one night? Lin Luoran is very self-aware, so she gives up this method. Then how can she get in? Take the guards hostage. It seems that the gene lock can identify them. She will be discovered before she sneaks into the palace. Lin Luoran imagines the feeling of being locked by weapons from all directions. As soon as she appears, the enemy will make a killing move. This is obviously more difficult than dealing with a starship in the vast universe. This is Nami City, which claims to be back to nature. In fact, countless cutting-edge technological weapons are hidden in the dark. She could not enter the palace, but it was not like she had no other choice. He can show the way to any citizen of Maple Leaf City. Duke Chao comes from a principality under the Nami Empire. He has his own castle on the outskirts of Maple Leaf City. As the hero of the royal wedding, Duke Chao is very popular. This middle-aged woman also takes Lin Luoran's hand and persuades her earnestly that Princess Windsor is dignified and elegant. She has no chance, and so on. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. She doesn't know whether she should be happy about the importance of the royal family among the people or look at herself in the mirror to see why she looks like a love-struck girl. It's still early before dawn. Lin Luoran follows the crowd out of the city. There is a custom in Nami. Families who marry their daughters will go to the wheat fields at night to pick wheat seedlings or wheat ears. It is the best blessing for the newlyweds. Windsor had always had a good image in the eyes of the people. The citizens of Maple Leaf City were also willing to send their blessings to the princess. After all, the principality is not on the Nami star. After the princess gets married, she will go to the planet where the principality is located with Duke Chao. The citizens of Maple Leaf City sing all the way and carry out the ancient custom. Lin Luoran follows them out of the city and turns into another path. The road is dark at night and no one finds this foreigner who quietly leaves the team. She almost blends in with the night. Duke Chao's castle is 50 miles away from the outskirts of Maple Leaf City. Lin Luoran finds many hidden posts along the way. She simply identifies the direction and chooses the Earth Escape spell. Most of the land outside the city is owned by nobles. No one wants to install detectors dozens of meters underground, except for some dukes who have bad intentions. When some kind of obscure wave comes, Lin Luoran knows that she has arrived. She jumps out of the ground. Before she stands still, the place where she stands is surrounded by lasers. If Lin Luoran doesn't dodge quickly, she will end up like the ground being hit into a big pit with black smoke. You are here. The somewhat gloomy but handsome Duke Chao's voice comes from the third floor. There are dozens of dark windows. Lin Luoran doesn't know where he is hiding. Lin Luoran doesn't move. At least 20 weapons are locking her from her feet to her head from all directions. The most important thing is that when she tries to scan the mysterious method with her spiritual mind and tries to hit him with one blow, she actually fails. It is extremely rare for spiritual mind to fail. Is it similar to the interference in the underground world of the Kalahari Desert? Anyway, Lin Luoran looks all the way. The outer wall of the towering castle is covered with fluffy golden pink light. It seems to be coated with an unknown special substance. Is this substance specially used to prevent cultivators or just to prevent alien strongmen who practice spirit power? Are you wondering why the usually useful spirit power scanning doesn't work now? Duke Chao's voice echoes in dozens of semicircular windows. It is gloomy with sarcasm. Even his hearty laughter can make people shiver. Every member of the Hilda family will get a family badge when they are born. It represents the glory of the Hilda family. Members of the family can never leave it. It has only one function. When the physiological function of the wearer is in danger, it is responsible for sending the picture back to the family. One is to ask for help, and the other is to take revenge. Lin Luoran coughs violently. She is no stranger to similar things. 300 years ago, Huaxia, which got the technological inheritance of Yuli civilization, also developed related applications. There were many similarities between the civilizations of the alliance. She was not afraid that the fact that she had killed someone would be exposed, but the background of the person she had killed was beyond her expectations. However, she had learned one thing. When dealing with people from the Galactic Alliance, she had to first burn all the similar things on them before making a move. So, you have long known that it was I who killed your brother? Duke Chao laughs softly. His voice is meandering. Lin Luoran really hopes that he can continue to laugh. She will soon be able to confirm his location. Unfortunately, the laughter stops abruptly. Duke Chao, who is hiding in the castle, never makes a sound again. It is useless to keep the three of you. I still have to rely on Fairy to help me. Lin Luoran whispers. Fire Phoenix becomes angry out of shame. It is barely taken away by Wood Wolf and Silver Fish. White Fairy knows that Lin Luoran is actually seriously injured. She is just holding on at the moment, so she discusses the steps with her. Lin Luoran listens to it and moves a little. In the gunfire, her body disappears and she escapes into the ground. White Fairy changes into Lin Luoran's appearance. She floats to the castle like a puff of smoke. The gunfire is chasing after her. As the fallen mighty of the misty peak on the earth, White Fairy is lucky enough to see a bomb as small as dust on the other side of the interstellar after 1,000 years. She doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. However, she is not a real person with flesh and blood. She is a soul without 5 elements. Even if her body is blown up, as long as it is not a power that can melt soul power, it will not cause any actual harm to her. The commander in the castle is on guard. He can't figure out how a creature can resist the gunfire with flesh and blood. Duke, the enemy seems to be a bit strange. There is no Chao in front of him. This handsome and gloomy young man is too cautious and careful. He is not in the defense command room. Humph, you are a bunch of useless things. The one approaching the castle now is not that woman at all. What's the use of looking exactly the same? There is no sign of life. It is just a simple energy fluctuation. When Chao is angry, White Fairy has already entered the outer wall of the castle. Those attacks stop abruptly. There is no reason for them to fight themselves. The outside of the castle is an iron bucket, but the inside is not an idiot. Duke Chao is moving. He has set many checkpoints to intercept White Fairy. At first, they were at their wits' end, until a strange-looking instrument appeared. After adjusting the wavelength for a while, the person operating the instrument is delighted to find that Lin Luoran has slowed down. There is a painful expression on her face. Increase the output. Lin Luoran hides underground and frowns for a while. Her spiritual mind is still blocked outside the castle. With White Fairy's eyes, she can see the situation inside the castle. From the painted wall of the castle to the strange instrument for souls, is it just a coincidence? A blue sword light comes as fast as lightning. Chao finally laughs out loud. She is just a cultivator. Does my Heidel family have no cultivators? Lin Luoran feels that her whole body is about to freeze in the soil. It is Baojia who comes on the sword. Baojia belongs to the same family as Duke Chao. The previous unexplainable situation is suddenly clear. Chao suddenly starts a mutiny, the paint layer of the castle, the instrument that can hurt souls. All these need a designer who knows cultivators very well. Mancia. Nolan Mancia lands and points her sword at Lin Luoran's hiding place. Come out. Don't force me to do it. Chapter 470. Lin Luoran feels like a fool for a moment. With her personality, the thing she couldn't accept the most, other than being separated by life and death, was betrayal? Just like Li Anping's betrayal, Lin Luoran could turn around and leave resolutely. What about now? It's not because of personal ability enhancement, but because for Baojia, she is a stranger. Duke Chao and Baojia, no, and Mancia. Nolan is an acquaintance. This recognition makes Lin Luoran feel bitter. Compared with completely forgetting, she would rather Baojia betrayed her. In fact, the word betrayal is more like a unilateral accusation. Baojia has been completely reborn. She doesn't just lose her memory. Maybe since she came out of the yin and yang dust circle, her character has been shaped completely different from her former friends. Qin Baojia and Mancia of Nami Star. Other than having the same face, there was nothing in common between Nolan and him. Now that she knows it, why does she still have the feeling that her heart is pulled out and trampled into the dust? Lin Luoran feels weak all over. Mancia. The snow sword in Nolan's hand is a gift from her. She never dreamed that one day the tip of this flying sword would point at her. I won't do anything to you. Nolan frowns. Why do you talk in such a tone of pity and forbearance? With your injury, I don't think you will win. Lin Luoran smiles reluctantly. Baojia has been exploring personal ability enhancement alone these years. She actually has the personal ability of the middle period of bearing essence. When she first entered the Soul Wood, she was only in the middle period of training Qi. After sleeping for these years, in addition to the recovery of her ocean of consciousness, her personal ability has also improved because of the Reiki of the Spirit Mine and the Soul Wood. Otherwise, no matter how good the Taoist root of double nature is, she can't easily reach the middle period of bearing essence without the support of spirit stones and elixirs. White Fairy said that the Reiki of Nami Star is only a little better than that of the earth in the end of the world. It is still far from that of the earth in the Tang dynasty of Huaxia. Baojia. Well, Mancia. Miss Nolan, let me say it again. I won't do anything to you. Nolan frowns. She doesn't like this tone. It feels like she owes a lot to the female cultivator. What big words. Watch my sword. Lin Luoran doesn't know the sword riding spell. She is already talented to figure out how to fly on the sword. This sword has no moves. In the eyes of Lin Luoran, who has learned the spell of sword, there are loopholes everywhere. She was not boasting. Even though she was seriously injured, it was not difficult for her to control Baojia with her current eyesight and experience. However, facing the blue sword light, Lin Luoran does not fight back. Instead, she dodges to the side. She hasn't recovered from her serious injury and she is in a trance. Baojia's sword is fast and fierce. A strand of her hair is cut off and falls down. How ironic, making it as inauspicious as severing one's robe. Mancia. Each of Nolan's moves is fatal, and Lin Luoran keeps retreating. The two of them are so fast that they can't be seen by the naked eye. They can only be captured by instruments. Grand Duke Chao was in a secret room. Looking at the transmitted picture, he felt a little strange. Why doesn't the female cultivator fight back? It seems that she has the power to fight back. The other party was someone who could split a starship with his sword. Or Countess Nolan has improved again in these years. If it is the latter, it is really a strong guarantee for the Heidel family. Grand Duke Chao's face is relaxed. Suddenly, his back is cold. A fatal crisis has locked him. Grand Duke Chao has calmed down in less than a second. There is nothing to be afraid of. His finger on the armrest of the chair is the life-saving button. He can retreat to a safe place under the enemy's eyes calmly. Therefore, Grand Duke Chao boldly turns the chair. The person standing behind him has restored her original face. It is White Fairy. In fact, I am very curious. What does an energy body like you rely on to live? White Fairy smiles sweetly. She doesn't care what the alien barbarian in front of her wants to say, and she won't say much to him. As long as this guy turns his face, he is doomed to lose. White Fairy's eyes are shining, frightening people's souls. Grand Duke Chao feels that something flashes. When he opens his eyes again, the scene in front of him has changed dramatically. White Fairy smiles. She looks at Grand Duke Chao, who is a little stupid, and floats out of the castle again. Qin Baojia, right? You really have the heart to do it. White Fairy has long regarded Lin Luoran as a junior. She is very dissatisfied that Lin Luoran doesn't fight back. She can't help but mock Baojia. I don't know any Baojia. My name is. White Fairy sneers, I don't care what your name is. I just hope that one day you will remember the past. Don't regret what happened today. Nolan is stunned by her words. Lin Luoran finally gets a chance to breathe. The protean dress she is wearing is quite embarrassed. It is torn. When the attack stops, the dress also has time to heal itself. These alien barbarians are really troublesome. Let's go to the capital. Because Nolan is standing here. Nolan, the castle has not launched another attack. Is Baojia very important to the Heidel family? Why do you help him? Nolan hesitates for a moment. My full name is Heidel. Nolan. Nolan. What did you do to Chao? Sure enough. This is Baojia's family. What about the Qin family before the new era? Lin Luoran smiles bitterly. She leaves without looking back as White Fairy says. Seeing that they are a little far away from Nolan, the people in the castle defense command room are overjoyed. They are about to attack mercilessly. Nolan. However, Nolan makes a gesture of truce. Wait, what about you? Why do you help the Nami royal family? Why does she help the Nami royal family? Lin Luoran lowers her head and smiles bitterly. I beg the Nami royal princess to find me a jewelry designer named Nolan. Nolan's jewelry designer. Isn't it ironic? I got this thing by chance. I will give it back to you. Goodbye. Lin Luoran throws something backhand. It is faintly reflecting under the soft light of the Heidel family castle. A phoenix hairpin carved with yellow jade. Lin Luoran's bright sword rises into the air until she and White Fairy completely disappear in the night. Nolan. Nolan is still standing in place. The night wind blew her hair into a mess, and her beautiful long and narrow eyes were filled with complex emotions. I beg the Nami royal princess to find me a jewelry designer named Nolan. Nolan's jewelry designer. She looks down at the yellow jade hairpin in her hand. It is indeed her early work. Nolan. Nolan is speechless for a long time. She always used the traditional totem of the earth as materials. She also hoped that someone she once knew would find her according to the clues. Even if the hope is very slim, she has never given up. After all, no one likes a blank life without a past. Then when did he give up the search? Was it after she stayed in Nami Star for 50 years and her blank life was filled little by little? After she tasted all the joys and sorrows? It turns out that someone will really come to find her. It's a pity that the two are in completely different camps. Nolan. Nolan walks to the secret room of the castle. Her grandnephew Heidel is 2 generations away. Chao. Frank leans on the chair. His handsome face is ruined by the crooked corners of his mouth. He sometimes cries and sometimes laughs wildly. A lot of saliva flows down his face. Nolan. There is anger flashing in Nolan's eyes. She knows Chao's extreme personality. However, he is the child she held when he was a child. Now he is hurt like this. She has the impulse to chase after him. But she hesitates when she thinks of White Fairy's words. I only hope that one day, you will remember the past and not regret everything that happened today. The past that she hasn't remembered and the things that have happened today are intertwined and contradictory. Nolan. Nolan feels that she can't kill him anymore. Chapter 471. Don't worry. The defense of the palace is not flawless. Otherwise, how could the Duke launch a rebellion quietly? White Fairy comforts Lin Luoran gently. Seeing that Lin Luoran is not in a good mood, she doesn't force her. She draws a semi-transparent three-dimensional image. The defense map of the palace? White Fairy nods gently. It was taken out from the boy's head. It should be. There are also some strange distribution maps. I will give them to you. White Fairy flicks a memory bead into Lin Luoran's mind. Those maps are easy to recognize. They seem to match the landform of Nami's star. However, the text is too strange. Lin Luoran is going to show it to Windsor. The defense of the palace is indeed not an iron bucket. Behind the huge palace, there is a towering mountain wall. A living spring leads directly to the palace and is connected to a running water stream in the palace. Because it is related to the palace's water intake, many toxin-detecting instruments are installed. However, in terms of safety, probably no one can imagine that the Heidel family has a bad intention for a long time. In recent years, they have dug through the mountain wall. A small waterfall hides a secret passage for two people to walk side by side. Lin Luoran and White Fairy move forward according to the map. The entrance is an old maple stump which has withered for many years. It is very desolate. Prying open the branches, they see a dark tunnel. There is no rotten smell of airflow. It seems that someone has passed here recently. Lin Luoran checks with her spiritual mind. After making sure there is no danger, she goes down with White Fairy. The wall is very smooth and the ground is covered with a special carpet. The footsteps of people walking on it are swallowed up. The Heidel family is really very careful. Lin Luoran holds back the feeling of coughing until she gets out of the waterfall. White Fairy casts an unknown spell on her. Lin Luoran can feel that her face is covered with something. Maybe her appearance has changed a lot. Who did you turn me into? It is strange. White Fairy has never seen people in the palace. She can no longer use her spiritual mind in the palace. Those so-called spirit power masters still have some tricks. White Fairy smiles but doesn't say anything. Lin Luoran draws a water mirror and doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. She looks like an elk now. They have encountered several free-range elks along the way. In such a big palace, only elks have the privilege to go unimpeded. Whether it is the waiter holding the silver plate or the cold-looking Nami royal guards, when they see these elks running around, they are not only not vigilant at all, but also quite kind to it. The elk, with watery eyes, wandered round the palace, and, hearing the quiet sighs of the two maids, stopped at the railing and looked up at them. Of course, the two of them would not be wary of a fawn. They lowered their voices and conversed. The princess suddenly moved to the West Hall and refused to try on her wedding dress. Is she angry with the Grand Duke? Duke Chao is such a gentle person. How could he? Shoo, don't tell anyone. Actually, I've seen the Grand Duke vent his anger on the attendants around him. That look is very different from how he usually acts. Really? The two maids gossip for a while. The elk hears that the old king is seriously ill and Prince Judith has been taking care of him in the main hall. It then quietly walks away. I go to the West Hall and you go to the main hall. White Fairy nods and agrees. She is a little worried. How about your injury? I won't die. I have just taken an elixir. White Fairy doesn't say much. After getting along with Lin Luoran for so long, she probably knows Lin Luoran's character. Lin Luoran rarely contradicts others. In fact, she is the most stubborn one. Take an elixir. The injury of the late bearing essence period is so serious. She needs at least a grade 5 elixir to treat it. Where can she get it at the moment? Seeing White Fairy leaving, Lin Luoran's smile fades. She covers her mouth with her hand and coughs silently. Her internal organs are seriously injured and she can't stop vomiting blood. Since she left the alchemy furnace to Yuan Yi, she has never made elixirs in the past 300 years. Not to mention high-grade spirit medicine, she doesn't even have nourishing chi bolus. Lin Luoran picks a fresh ginseng from the space. She washes it and breaks off a piece to put it in her mouth. The 10,000-year-old ginseng tastes extremely bitter and its medicinal effect is also overbearing. Unfortunately, it is not the right medicine. It can only replenish chi and nourish blood to delay the time of her injury. Lin Luoran recalls the previous three-dimensional map. She identifies the direction of the West Hall and goes all the way. Nami Palace is very large. The side West Hall that the maids say is very remote is actually an independent castle. Lin Luoran follows several maids. At first glance, she looks like an ignorant elk. Others don't drive her away. The maids are holding a silver plate with some precious jewels on it. It seems that they are the ornaments for the wedding. However, Windsor has ruined the wedding. These maids seem to know nothing. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether they really don't know or they are the people the Heidel family planted in the royal family. Princess, princess, the princess is still resting. You can put down the jewelry. Yes, Lord Kenny. The male attendant has a high status. The maids are very respectful to him. He seems to be Windsor's bodyguard. He is tall, thin and pale. He looks a little familiar. Oh, when the Edward landed on Satellite Eye, this tall and thin young man was among Windsor's group. Kenny, I was really blind before. In a gorgeous inner bedroom, Windsor closes her eyes and looks tired. The tall and thin Kenny is silent. He just puts the tray on the dressing table. Princess, please forgive Kenny. As a member of the Heidel family, Kenny deeply regrets your current situation. You shouldn't have listened to the instigation of a few alien creatures and had the idea of breaking the wedding. The Grand Duke loves you very much. The entire Nami alliance is looking forward to your marriage. Especially that alien woman, she even killed the Grand Duke's brother, the Prince of the Principality. Windsor leans on the edge of the bed. She seems to be weak. She can only sneer, his brother is dead. No one can compete with him for the principality. Chow will wake up with a smile in his dream. Don't flatter him. Kenny doesn't argue with Windsor. This tall and thin young man turns around and carefully wipes away the dust on the jewelry that is almost impossible to exist. He is careful and cautious. He is really a perfect close attendant. This Kenny can be taken by Windsor to participate in the undisclosed matter of interstellar travel. It can be seen that he is a close attendant whom Windsor trusts very much. It turns out that he is a member of the Heidel family. So, Windsor can't fight back at this moment because she has been betrayed? Lin Luoran hides in the dark and observes for a while. All the defenses of this West Hall are outside. As long as she controls Kenny, she should not encounter any attack. Thus, she walked out in the open. Why does an elk follow me in? Kenny turns his head and the attack he is about to launch stops. Lin Luoran's 5 fingers change. A water bubble flies out of her hand and covers Kenny. The blue bubble wraps him up like a jelly. She even sets a mini world in this room in an instant to prevent the sound and figure from being transmitted out. As soon as the attack is launched, the spell White Fairy cast on Kenny disappears automatically. Seeing an elk suddenly changes, Windsor is surprised for a moment. Lady Lin. Lin Luoran checks Windsor's body. It is a potion that makes people weak and restrains their power. Lin Luoran uses gold reiki as a needle and pricks several places on Windsor's body for a while. The remaining potion in her body is forced to one place. Lin Luoran cuts her fingers and releases the potion. Why did you fail so easily? Windsor can become the pirate leader. Of course, she doesn't rely on her princess identity. She is easily schemed by Chow, which is very unreasonable. Duke Chow seems to be not as smart as Windsor. Windsor takes a look at the jelly, and Lin Luoran understands. People are the most defenseless against the people they trust. A screw goes wrong and it can almost paralyze the entire palace. The Heidel family doesn't plant many people in the palace. The people they plant have all become the trusted figures of the Nami royal family. This is worrying. Lady Lin, thank you for saving me. But my father and brother, they also have someone to save them. Now it is almost dawn. What do you decide to do? Windsor hesitates. It is absolutely impossible to be bribed by the Heidel family. I only trust General Win, but he is outside Maple Leaf City at the moment. Then get out of the palace. But General Win's starship troops are stationed in Satellite 3. If the Heidel family is alarmed, I am afraid that the starship troops will not be able to come to rescue the king. This is a problem. Although Chao is now a fool, the Heidel family has no choice but to shoot. After finding Windsor, Lin Luoran can break out with her people. Now she wants to finish things quietly because she doesn't want to confront Baojia. General Win is loyal to the royal family. He will not trust others unless he sees Windsor. Windsor must get out of the palace. There is no possibility of compromise. How can she get out? Lin Luoran suddenly feels that the tremor of the mini-world comes from under her feet. There is something under your bed. Lin Luoran protects Windsor behind her and looks at the gorgeous big bed vigilantly. The floor tiles under the bed are lifted. It is not something but two people who climb out. Boss, we are here to pick you up. Two people with dusty faces climb out. Windsor's fierce green eyes have a moment of tenderness. You two idiots, how dare you break into the palace? The two pirates laugh. Which bastard says that their boss becomes gentle because she is going to get married? She is obviously more bad-tempered. Lin Luoran smiles comfortably. There is always a way out. Ask them to take you out. As for here, I will take care of it first. Let me have a taste of being a princess for half a day. The star is about to rise in the west and a new day is coming. What awaits Windsor is a difficult journey to rescue the king. The princess of the Nami Empire does not hesitate to follow the two pirates into the tunnel under the bed. Chapter 472. No matter how exciting or tiring people are, the stars are still independent of people's will most of the time, although with the level of technology of the Nami Alliance, it is not impossible for them to destroy the star if they don't like it. The star jumps out of the thick clouds from the west of the Nami star and lights up the Maple Leaf City. Even if technology has evolved to the point that even the stars above can be destroyed, time still doesn't stop for some people. Lin Luoran doesn't know if Windsor has contacted General Wayne and whether he can transfer troops from Guard 3 in time. Maybe she is in a bad mood. For a moment, she really wants to leave this mess and board the Edward with Ma Shuangshuang and others. They can wander in the vast universe or return to the wild planet where Danling Taoist immortalized. Both are good choices. But what about Mrs. Lin and others? As long as her heart was tied down, she would be trapped. She couldn't be a heartless cultivator who only cared about herself. When would she be able to roam the world freely and unfettered in the world of mortals? Lying on the bed, Lin Luoran studies the transparent jelly. This time, she is seriously injured, even worse than the time when she killed a rank 6 monster in the monster forest. At that time, she had to lie on the beach for more than a month before she gradually recovered. However, this time, Lin Luoran is not optimistic. Her foundation is almost hurt. Unfortunately, it is not the time to relax. Lin Luoran throws some ginseng slices into her mouth. It is a waste to eat 10,000-year-old ginseng like this. She swallows it with the sweet and fishy taste in her mouth. Princess, you should change your clothes. The voice of the maids rings outside the door. Lin Luoran stuffs the frozen Kenny into the cabinet and imitates Windsor's voice to reply, "Come in." The maids gently push the door open with their heads half lowered. They are holding a dress made of special fibers in their hands. It is similar to the color of the phoenix's tail feathers. It is very gorgeous. The dress may be 2 meters long. It will definitely look good on Windsor. Lin Luoran pulls the quilt to cover her face and says in a muffled voice, "Put down the dress. I can wear it myself." The maids quickly look at each other and bow their heads in unison. Yes, Your Highness. Princess Windsor has been in a bad mood recently. It is better not to look for trouble. The maids leave and Lin Luoran lifts the quilt. She stares at the gorgeous clothes and jewelry and sighs. Is she going to play the Taiwanese romance that Huaxia seriously tortured girls before the new era? Unfortunately, the bridegroom had yet to wake up from his dream. The dream White Fairy gives is so beautiful that people are willing to never wake up unless White Fairy interprets the dream herself. I don't know if Baojia is wrong, Mancia. What was Nolan doing now? However, he commanded the forces of the Heidel family to chase and intercept Windsor's request for help. I will solve Chao's problem, but your ambition does not mean that I will support you unconditionally. The basement of the Deep Castle is brightly lit as if a meeting is being held. The people present are all important members of the Heidel family who come here with the excuse of attending the royal wedding. There are some generals of the small and medium forces of the Nami Alliance and some major shareholders who control several chambers of commerce in the alliance. They are all elites of the Heidel family. According to the original plan of the Heidel family, they will let Chao and Windsor get married. After they have children, they will slowly deal with the old king, Judith, and Windsor. This is like boiling a frog in warm water. It is the safest way. They have been planning this for more than 1 or 2 days. First, Windsor suddenly breaks up the marriage. Fortunately, the Heidel family's arrangement for many years can cope with it. The most troublesome thing is that Chao suddenly becomes like this. How can he show up at the wedding ceremony tomorrow? The people of Maple Leaf City and the people who come to watch the ceremony from all over the alliance are not blind. In addition to their love for the royal family, those families who had candidates when the old king selected a son-in-law for Windsor will not sit back and watch the Heidel family hide the truth. At worst, they will muddy the water and everyone will go into the water to slack off. Mancia. Nolan, don't forget that the Heidel family has raised you for many years. Mancia. Nolan sneered, you raised me. Who will fight for the inheritance left by my adoptive mother after her death? I watched Chao grow up. I have no problem with him wanting to marry the princess. However, you are dreaming of seizing the throne of Nami. Don't try to drag me into the water. Mancia. Nolan's words make most of the people in the conference room blush. Of course, there are some thick-skinned people who don't take it seriously. The glory of the family is the highest. The Heidel family has succeeded, Mancia. Nolan, you will only get benefits. Mancia. Nolan feels that they are really boring. She simply stands up and walks straight to the door of the conference room. Do you think I will care about those benefits? If you stay on this Nami star, the whole planet will be in a mess. Don't force me to throw you all into the desert to bask in the sun. Nolan slams the door loudly, leaving everyone present with a cold look. These stupid nobles suddenly remember that when they wanted to seize the industry left by Nolan's adoptive mother in the past, Nolan's eyes were like this. She personally sent some people to the most desolate desert of Nami Star on her sword and stripped their communicators. When they were almost baked dry, they were found by the search team sent by the family. It was also at that time that they realized that this orphan girl of unknown origin can make many of them restless at night in terms of individual compatibility. Forget it. Can't we do anything without her? An elder of the Heidel family is a little embarrassed. He quickly changes the topic. How is Chao's situation? If it doesn't work, let's wake him up by force first. Let's talk about it after the wedding tomorrow. Someone lowers his head with sarcasm. Wake him up by force? When Duke Chao becomes a fool, will the elder take care of the heir born by Chao and Princess Windsor in the future? He was truly a sly old fox. However, except for Mancia, Duke Chao still has a dead brother. Nolan still had a dead brother, so there was no one else to stand up for him. So, everyone said that this was a good suggestion. They had been dreaming. A guard hurriedly came to report, Ms. Mancia took Duke Chao away. I can't stop her. After a short silence, the water glass on the table is smashed by the first elder. Get out. Get out of here. Princess, the king, and the third prince are here. A waitress pushes the door in excitedly. A black-haired woman is sitting in front of the dresser, looking at the gorgeous jewelry. This woman is different from the Nami people. Her facial features are not aggressive and she is very weak. However, the waitress still panics when she sees her. Princess, who are you? What did you do to the princess? Lin Luoran has received a message from White Fairy, saying that the old king and Judith are coming here. The old royal family always has its own secret message transmission system. The old king and Judith appear openly. Maybe Windsor has already got the news. Lin Luoran doesn't need to hide anymore. Lin Luoran looks at the panicked little waitress. It seems that she wants to send a message secretly. The security training of the Nami royal family is good. Lin Luoran turns her head and smiles at her. The waitress's face is a mixture of panic and confusion. She can't figure out why Lin Luoran is so fearless. There is a pain in the back of the neck. It is the numbness after a heavy blow. The last thought of the waitress before she faints is, I am attacked. Judith twitches and retracts his fat hand. It is too difficult for a loser like him to make a hand knife. The middle-aged man he is supporting has sunken cheeks. His thin body is hidden under the loose king's robe. He is dispirited because of a long illness. However, his green eyes are almost the same as Windsor's. They still bring a deterrent force that can't be underestimated when he opens and closes his eyes. His Majesty. Lin Luoran hesitates. The king of the Nami Empire at this time should be more like an old man in the mouth of the residents of Maple Leaf City or Windsor. However, the man Judith is supporting is a middle-aged handsome man who is too thin. Well, it has absolutely nothing to do with aging. Miss Lin. Windsor mentioned you. Although he has a high nose and green eyes, Lin Luoran strangely feels the long-lost Huaxia style from the king. He is very much like the wise king she has imagined in her mind. He has no unnecessary formalities and his attitude towards her is very calm. He has the perfect temperament of a king. Lin Luoran can't understand how such a king can be controlled by the principality. This doubt has troubled Lin Luoran for many years until, is His Majesty all right? Since the king is not putting on airs, Lin Luoran is also willing to greet him naturally. They chat and laugh for a while. The atmosphere is harmonious and they walk in the palace above board. The king is beside her so Lin Luoran is no longer an intruder. Naturally, she doesn't have to worry about being shot into a sieve by endless high-tech weapons in the next second. Judith follows her and White Fairy suddenly comes out from the side. The fat man has already passed the period of surprise. Without White Fairy, he and the old king would not have been able to get out of trouble so easily. He is very curious about this strong man who looks the same as Lin Luoran. He asks a lot of stupid questions. White Fairy will ignore him. She doesn't show herself and other people in the palace can't see White Fairy. Therefore, Prince Judith talks to himself crazily all the way. He asks many maids passing by who still have fantasies about him because of his identity to give up directly. A fat man is not terrible. A fat man who loves to eat is not terrible either. What is terrible is that the third prince is a psycho. They walk through the entire palace and come to a high steeple. Looking down from here, the Maple Leaf City can be seen. The streets are full of joy and excitement. In Windsor, the climax of the celebration is reached when Xian comes down from a starship in a military uniform of the Empire. Look, Princess Windsor, who makes the people proud, even her wedding is so different. Windsor has always captured a large number of diehard fans with her dignified atmosphere. However, Princess Windsor, who grew up under their eyes, is destined to give these diehard fans a heavy blow today. Windsor waves to the enthusiastic people and glances at the scene with sharp eyes. The virtual light screen projected above the palace and the ubiquitous broadcast are enough for every Nami people who pay attention to this wedding to see the princess expression clearly. It doesn't match her gentle and dignified look. Before many people realize it, Windsor has already picked up a piece of white paper from the waiter beside her and slowly reads it word by word. The princess's voice is really beautiful. But listen to what Her Royal Highness is reading. Duke Chow is guilty one by one and the wedding is cancelled. Her Royal Highness asks herself to be the heir of the royal family in front of the people and nobles. Nami Empire has never had a woman in power before. Sensational news is thrown out one after another, making the Nami people dizzy. Their gentle and dignified princess. Is this the late rebellious phase? Windsor's green eyes are shining in the light of the stars. His Majesty smiles and Judith is overjoyed. He feels that he can eat, drink and have fun without any pressure from now on. Lin Luoran is also in the tower. Windsor's affairs are going well. She is completely relieved. However, the sudden fluctuation of Reiki in the crowd startles her. Wherever she looks, Baojia stands outside the crowd and mouths to her. Chapter 473. The conversation between Lin Luoran and Nolan is not as tense as expected. Nolan thinks about it. The place that really belongs to Lin Luoran in Maple Leaf City is just the barbecue restaurant. She makes an appointment to meet at night. It is midnight when Nolan comes. Half an hour after the barbecue restaurant closes, Derek returns to Susan's tavern. There are only Lin Luoran and a few small robots working hard to wipe the grease in the yard in the barbecue restaurant. A small square table is placed under the oak tree. Derek has been taking care of the flower bed recently. The red-haired young man transplants a lot of Chinese bellflower from Susan's tavern. The blue and white flowers add a little gentleness to the night view of the small courtyard. Looking at the Milky Way from the earth, it is a long white chain. At this time, she is in Nami star and her position in the Milky Way is different. Looking at the hundreds of millions of stars in the Milky Way above her head, she looks more like a flat fish. Mancia. When Nolan comes in, she rings the wind chime hanging on the door. Nami star has 4 satellites. The moonlight is beautiful. Nolan looks up and sees Lin Luoran drinking alone under the tree. Although she doesn't remember it, she feels uncomfortable when she sees her coughing from time to time. You are here. Lin Luoran pours a glass of spirit wine for her. It is different from what she usually drinks. It is made of raspberry. Unlike other precious fruits, this is a kind of wild fruit that grows all over the mountains. It looks like mulberries. She can't remember when she transplanted a raspberry into her space. Now the environment of the earth has changed greatly. She can no longer eat this kind of original wild fruit elsewhere. During the 6 months of interstellar drifting, she also made a few jars of it. Nolan tastes it. The wine is a little sour. After drinking it, she feels warm in her limbs and bones. This kind of spirit wine naturally can't help cultivators of the bearing essence period with their personal ability. Nolan cares about its taste, which makes her feel familiar. Just like Lin Luoran in front of her. She has no impression of her in her memory. When Lin Luoran leaves in frustration and embarrassment, Nolan feels a familiar emotion in her heart. Since she woke up in the heart of the tree, she has only encountered this emotion once in more than 90 years of memory. Her adoptive mother died. This female cultivator must have been very important to her in the past. Nolan drinks and looks at Lin Luoran casually. She had the same black hair and eyes as him, and her face was abnormally pale under the moonlight. Her injuries were very serious. Nolan wanted to lose her temper out of reflex, but before she could scold him, she remembered her own position. Her concern finally turned into a question. Your friend who looks like me, what kind of person was he? What kind of person? In the past, Qin Baojia was as proud as a phoenix. She was born into a good family and had a good appearance. Her temper was even more straightforward than that of a man. When she hates a person, no matter who you are, she can act on the spot. When she liked someone, she didn't care about your identity or position. She could make you her best friend. Baojia was like a flame, like a sparkling diamond, living in the most beautiful time. It was destined that those who saw her narrow eyes would never forget the look in them. Baojia abhors evil and has a straightforward temper. She only knows how to argue with people openly and likes to be lively, unlike Mancia in front of her. Nolan could live in seclusion in the valley for decades. She could watch Duke Chao cheat the marriage, but she still wanted to help him. You are not her. Why do you ask so much? Nolan didn't expect that Lin Luoran's attitude was completely different from before. Before, Lin Luoran always showed that she wanted to recognize her and let her remember the past. Why does Lin Luoran not talk at this time when she takes the initiative to bring up the topic? Nolan was a little annoyed. She felt that Lin Luoran's temper was weird. She wanted to leave, but she remembered her purpose. By the way, I won't care about the Heidel family in the future. The Nami star has been in a mess recently. I will leave with Chao for a while. Lin Luoran finally raised her head. Where do you want to go? They have been separated for more than 300 years. Even though it is embarrassing to see each other at this time, Lin Luoran still can't accept that Baojia disappears again. Nolan drinks up the spirit wine in the glass, and her cheeks are a little red. I don't know. The interstellar is so vast. Maybe I will find a wild star to meditate, or maybe I will see a more advanced alliance civilization. Lin Luoran bowed her head and said nothing. It was so long that Nolan almost thought that she had fainted because of her serious injury. She then asked softly, will you consider going back to the Earth? Although I didn't want to say it, if there had been no accident during the Great Change, there should have been descendants in your family. Lu Sanchuan's son named Qin Yan. In the concept of Huaxia's clan, since he was adopted, the surname Qin will continue. It is not surprising that the Qin family has descendants. Nolan was silent and her body was tense. There was a voice clamoring for her to find the past, but another force was like a wall blocking her from exploring the truth. It was the new personality's subconscious resistance to the past. She was afraid that one day she would suddenly find that the life she had lived for more than 90 years after she woke up was just an illusion that shouldn't have existed. Why can't you understand what others mean? Although your friend and I look alike, we are not the same person. By the way, what is the surname of your former friend? Qin, the Qin of the legend of Qin and the Han dynasty. Nolan said, oh, then let's say goodbye. When I am tired of staying in the interstellar, maybe I will consider your suggestion. See you, Nolan. Nice to meet you, Ms. Nolan. Nolan looked back. The expression on Lin Luoran's face was very serious, which made her feel that there was something wrong with Lin Luoran's brain. Lin Luoran was seriously injured in the valley and fought in front of the castle. How could she be happy to meet her? They must have had a good relationship before. Nolan looked at Lin Luoran deeply and said, Qin Baojia, several times in her heart. It was a beautiful name. Maybe she really should go to the Earth. Lin Luoran didn't stop Nolan from leaving. She was even in a good mood. She just had a damn intuition that she would see Baojia again when she returned to the Earth. Baojia seemed to have completely forgotten the past. However, Lin Luoran was very familiar with those little habits and the little movements of her hands when she said one thing but meant another. This person, even if they were on opposite sides and had stabbed each other, Lin Luoran could feel that Baojia was still alive when she saw those little movements. How could people not be sick? Sisters sometimes fought. Lin Luoran couldn't argue with a sick friend. When Baojia remembered what she had done to her when she lost her memory one day, Lin Luoran would beat her hard to vent her anger. She didn't think she would fight back. Even if she couldn't remember, the worst plan was to be friends again. After leaving the Nami star, they had no reason to have any conflict. Lin Luoran drank happily and contacted Xiaoji. Princess Windsor is very generous. She lent us a castle to live in temporarily. Don't you want to explore the Nami star? The Nami star is well protected. In terms of scenery alone, it is not inferior to the Earth before the new era. Hearing Lin Luoran's proposal, the 4 people on the starship who were originally uneasy are tempted. However, they also don't know whether to laugh or cry. Lin Luoran said that the Nami star was in a critical situation and asked them to return to the Edward as soon as possible. The 4 people finally boarded the starship and the matter was solved. It was obviously a waste of effort. Come back quickly. There are several good horses in the stable of the castle. First come, first served. Before Lin Luoran can finish her words, she has already leaned on the table. The 4 people on the other side of the communicator are so anxious that they don't know what happened. Han Weiya hears Lin Luoran's breath is steady and sees the wine pot on the table. She is stunned. Is Aunt Lin drunk? The 4 people are speechless. Aunt Lin is so mean. She still drinks when she is injured. Ma Yiming mutters. Suddenly, his clothes are grabbed tightly. The cyan little fox suddenly rushes out and holds Ma Yiming's neck. What? She is injured. Why didn't you tell me when you came back? Ma Yiming is dizzy because of the shaking. Han Weiya can't bear it. Ma Shuangshuang rescues her brother from the claws of cyan little fox. There is a sly smile on her face. You didn't ask us. Besides, aren't you in a cold war with Aunt Lin? The cyan little fox rolls its eyes. Pack up quickly. Han Weiya, remember to bring your alchemy furnace. This time, I will show you what elixirs are. Talking nonsense and changing the topic has always been the ultimate skill of the arrogant little fox. Han Weiya and Ma Shuangshuang are convinced by it. They are busy packing up and going to Nami again. Xiaoji is very anxious. It says loudly that it wants to go with them. The Edward is very lively for a while. 4 people, a fox, and a robot arrive at the barbecue restaurant in a few hours. Before dawn, Lin Luoran has already woken up. The cyan little fox awkwardly expresses its concern. Lin Luoran has no choice but to accept it. 1 person and 1 fox make up. It is said that quarreling can promote feelings. The cyan little fox is very happy and jumps on Lin Luoran's shoulder. It keeps shouting to go to the castle quickly. It is too noisy here and it is not suitable for making elixirs. If Lin Luoran's injury is delayed, it will not be so easy to cure. Lin Luoran has never seen cyan little fox show its ability. From its tone, it seems that the little fox is going to make elixirs by itself this time. In the dark, they go to the castle that Windsor borrowed and gave to them. It is the manor where they went to ride horses that day. It is surrounded by mountains and water. There is no better place to live than this. It is about to dawn. Before they arrive at the manor, a flash of lightning flashes through the sky. The muffled thunder is slower than the light. The weather changes suddenly. Sure enough, no matter where it is in summer, there are many thunderstorms. Lin Luoran thinks of the golden word figure taught by the man in robe in her dream. Chapter 474. Lightning flashes across the sky, tearing apart the thick night. The thunder is sometimes small and sometimes loud. It's like someone beating drums high in the sky, very rhythmic. There is a kind of power in thunder and lightning. Lin Luoran has never felt it so clearly before. There is a faint candlelight in the towering castle. Ma Yiming and others are still exploring the castle. Lightning and thunder are so late at night. This kind of scene often appears in movies before the new era of the Earth. Han Weiya's family is rich and she has seen a lot of books and movies about it. Lin Luoran is in her room with her spiritual mind completely relaxed. She can hear the little girl telling others about the legend of vampires. The blood line. She once attended the masquerade of the bloodline. Maybe it has been so long that even the hated bloodline has become friendly. At least on the Nami star on the other side of the starry sky, there will be no bloodline. Thunder rumbles and lightning flashes. Several horses in the stable are neighing. There are no other people in the castle except Lin Luoran and others. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind sweeps through every room. In the basement, Cyan Little Fox is busy. Although it asks Han Weya to bring the alchemy furnace, it doesn't use it when making elixirs. There is no earth fire in the castle. Cyan Little Fox slowly picks out the spirit medicine it needs from a pile of spirit herbs and kneads it with its little paws. Every time it kneads, it is like a cultivator using an alchemy furnace to purify. Is this the secret skill of making elixirs belonging to the nine-tailed fox family? Lin Luoran sneers. She thought that Cyan Little Fox only knows how to identify herbs. After all, the little fox only knows how to plant herbs, but in fact, it doesn't grow anything. Is the Cyan Little Fox trying to understand every kind of spirit herb by planting herbs? Lin Luoran inexplicably remembers what the man in robes said, "You have to see the essence of the mountain." Cyan Little Fox's irritation caused by the thunder slowly calms down in the process of kneading herbs. Lin Luoran concentrates her spiritual mind outside the castle again. The rain washes the endless grassland. The water drops fall into the mud along the grass and leaves. There is a little power of thunder and lightning in the water Reiki. It is said that the thunder of nature carries a sense of awe-inspiring righteousness. Monsters with low personal ability never go out to walk in thunderstorms. The timid ones will even shiver. Nine-tailed royal bloodline like Cyan Little Fox only hates thunder and lightning, and the essence of plants is more likely to be destroyed by thunder, so what is the power in thunder and lightning? Before she was injured, she had never had such a clear sense of thunder and lightning. The strong wind blows up the white curtains in front of the window. Lightning illuminates Lin's face. In the thunder, she surprisingly finds peace. Even now, she still couldn't see the essence of the mountain. Then what about the lightning? In the scientific and technological civilization, even the Earthlings before the new era understood the cause of thunder and lightning. The top of cumulonimbus clouds was generally high, and there were often ice crystals on the upper part of the cloud. The attachment of ice crystals, the breaking of water droplets, and the convection of air and other processes caused the cloud to generate electric charges. Generally speaking, the upper part of the cloud was dominated by positive charges, and the lower part was negatively charged. There was a potential difference between the upper and lower parts. When the potential difference reached a certain level, there would be discharge. This was the phenomenon of lightning, often seen at night with wind and rain and thunder. In the process of discharge, due to the sudden increase of temperature in the lightning channel, the volume of the air expands sharply, resulting in a shock wave and strong thunder. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to feel the breath of thunder and lightning in the air. This common sense is not enough to convince her. The sky is bright, and the thunder gradually fades away. Ma Yiming and the other three complete the instilling of castle phobia in Xiaoji and end the castle adventure. In the morning after the rain, the trembling dew on the tip of the grass is breathtakingly beautiful. The brother and sister of the Ma family make an appointment to go to the forest on the other side of the river to cultivate. Han Weya and Colin also run to the forest to pick up mushrooms. Only Cyan Little Fox is left in the castle. Without the disturbance of thunder, it can focus on making elixirs. Lin Luoran is motionless. She has been standing by the window for most of the night. The air with the fragrance of plants wakes her up from intoxication. Lin Luoran finally grasps the glimmer of inspiration surging in her heart. There is no pen, ink or paper at hand, but Lin Luoran can't help the urge to write. She stretches out her right hand and uses her index finger and middle finger as a pen. She makes the first stroke in the air. There are still many thunder and lightning molecules in the air that haven't dispersed yet. When Lin Luoran moves her fingertips, they are all ready to move. According to what she has learned in memory, Lin Luoran uses her fingers as a pen. Every stroke is careful and precise, exactly the same as what she has learned in memory. When she adds the last stroke of the word, thunder, a large number of thunder and lightning molecules gather in front of Lin Luoran. If it were others, they would be very happy, but Lin Luoran is a little disappointed. She can clearly feel the energy condensed by the pen. They are the gathering of thunder and lightning molecules that haven't dispersed after the thunderstorm. However, the golden rune is not like the lowest spell, which can be successful by gathering Reiki. For example, the word lake written by the man in robe had clearly appeared out of thin air, creating a huge lake out of thin air. Therefore, this word, thunder, is a failure. Lin Luoran disperses the power of thunder and lightning gathered at her fingertips, wondering what went wrong. At about 9 o'clock, the siblings of the Ma family who went to the forest for self-cultivation come back. Colin also comes back with Han Weiya. They have picked a lot of mushrooms. Han Weiya must have gained a lot of experience in studying spirit herbs. Finally, she doesn't start with a bunch of colorful poisonous mushrooms. Lin Luoran hears several people whispering that she is injured and they want to make something delicious for her. The craftsmanship of these young people. Lin Luoran thinks about it and decides not to discourage them. Lin Luoran fails to write the word thunder, but she is not discouraged. She sits cross-legged on the carpet and breathes for a while to relieve the anxiety caused by the serious injury. Lin Luoran goes downstairs to eat the breakfast made by several young people. Then she goes straight up the mountain to cut some bamboo and comes back. Aunt Lin, what are you doing? Seeing Lin Luoran digging a hole near the castle, several people are very strange. Ma Yiming and Colin both ask her to have a rest. I have nothing to do, so I make some paper for fun. She wants to make a batch of rice paper by herself to practice the golden word. During her time at the University of Chuan, she has read a lot of books. The ancient method of making paper is not very complicated, so she can give it a try. After hearing Lin Luoran's request for the pit, Ma Yiming and Colin reluctantly accept the job and begin to dig the pit. Han Weiya and Ma Shuangshuang don't lag behind. They get on the horses and crush all the tender bamboos with their hooves. Lin Luoran stores water in the dug pool, pushes the crushed bamboo pieces into the pit and soaks them in water. Following Lin Luoran's instructions, they find hay and branches to cover the pit. They are all sweaty because of tiredness. Working with her hands always gives people a sense of reassurance. Besides, Lin Luoran is so badly injured that she is gasping for breath every time she uses a little spell. She doesn't want to show it in front of others because she doesn't want to worry the young people. The tender bamboos need half a month to ferment. During this period, Lin Luoran takes ginseng slices to heal her wounds and insists on breathing every day. She also wants to use Han Weiya's alchemy furnace to refine some healing elixirs. However, there is no earthly fire near the manor. She is so injured that she can't even raise the bolus fire, let alone make elixirs. Windsor has come here twice with Judith. Most of the time, the fat prince comes to eat by himself. As the heir of the royal family, Windsor is destined to lose something called freedom while getting some things. From now on, this bright woman can no longer be a capricious and arrogant interstellar pirate. Half a month later, the tender bamboos are fermented. The cyan little fox pushes the basement door open. Try it first to see if it works. It is an elixir with blue and white porcelain color. It has no name and belongs to the special unorthodox way of making elixirs of the fox family. Lin Luoran can't classify it. However, it is very effective. Less than half an hour after Lin Luoran takes it, the subtle wakan wandering in her pubic region begins to nourish the injuries in her body. Since she forcibly suppresses her gathering vitality and vomits blood in the illusion circle, the 4 golden elixirs in her pubic region have been dispirited and unwilling to produce wakan for her. Today, they are nourished by the elixir and are willing to move. It is really rare. Good elixir. Lin Luoran praises sincerely. The cyan little fox is finally relieved. It has consumed a lot of energy to make this elixir and its fur is dim. Hearing that Lin Luoran says it is helpful for her injury, the cyan little fox is relieved. It is very tired and falls asleep on the carpet in Lin Luoran's room. Peeling, pickling, rinsing, fermenting, crushing, making paper, pressing paper, uncovering paper, and drying paper. Making paper is the most complicated step in the ancient method of making paper. Lin Luoran has tried for a long time. After a month, the slightly yellow paper is finally dried. Lin Luoran smells the remaining sunshine on the paper and begins to practice the word, thunder. Lin Luoran doesn't know if it is because her state of mind has gradually calmed down after 1 month of making paper. At this time, practicing the word, thunder, feels very good. The thick ink flows on the white paper. Lin Luoran feels that she has grasped the pulse of thunder and lightning. She can hear her own breathing, pulse, heartbeat, and the wind outside the window. It is the end of midsummer. The weather is gradually cooling down. Autumn is coming, and thunderstorms will not occur easily. After feeling the thunder of the whole summer, the moment Lin Luoran puts pen to paper, the electric arc flashes on the paper. Suddenly, the white paper burns without fire, and there is a sudden explosion in the clear night sky. It thundered. Chapter 475. Perhaps because of the resentment of the people in Maple Leaf City, the wacken nourished by Cyan Little Fox's elixir in her pubic region is instantly sucked out before Lin Luoran can finish appreciating the thunder she attracts. She feels sweet in her throat. There are signs of recurrence of her injury. The loss outweighs the gain. Every character with great power really needs wacken to support it. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to try other characters. She covers her face with a cup and sleeps. The next day, she wakes up with weak feet. Cyan Little Fox's face is as black as ink. It feels that Lin Luoran doesn't cherish the fruits of its labor. What's more unacceptable is that she hurts her own body. Lin Luoran deeply reviews her mistakes. She repeatedly promises that she will never try again before she recovers. Cyan Little Fox raises its head and walks into the basement. It is going to refine an elixir for this troublesome Linny. Lin Luoran is helpless. She can't practice characters. She can only meditate or organize space. People tend to think too much when they are idle. She can only follow the 4 young people to explore Nami Star to kill time. The midsummer of Nami Star passes. Autumn is even cooler than the earth. The leaves of the mountains around Maple Leaf City begin to turn red, reflecting the red glow of the evening. It is very interesting. Lin Luoran finishes her breathing today. Looking at the dim spirit stone in her hand, Lin Luoran's injury has stabilized. However, she still can't recover. It may have a lot to do with the interruption of gathering vitality. From ancient times to the present, even before the Tang dynasty when spells were flourishing, it was a big event for cultivators to gather vitality. Those who have a master will take good care of cultivators who are about to gather vitality. Even individual cultivators without a master will choose a secret place for gathering vitality early. The treasures collected from the beginning of personal ability enhancement will be used to ensure the cultivator's safety under Heaven's Doom. Under such preparation, only the elixir can break through the vitality and the cultivator will fail. White Fairy has never heard of a cultivator who forcibly stops gathering vitality halfway. The golden elixir is on the verge of breaking. The next step should be to gather vitality after the golden elixir is broken. However, she forcibly stops. No wonder she can't recover from her serious injury. The 4 golden elixirs are even on strike and refuse to produce wacken for her body. Although the medicinal power of the 9-tailed fox clan's pills is extraordinary, your current situation is unprecedented. You'll probably have to reach the nascent soul stage to heal your old injuries in one go. From the bearing essence period to the gathering vitality period, one's lifespan is doubled. In the process of transforming the wacken in the body to a higher level of meta, curing old diseases is not a big deal. Besides, cultivators' bodies will tend to evolve in a more perfect direction. According to White Fairy, one of the important reasons why female cultivators look forward to the gathering vitality period is that the process of gathering vitality can correct a person's appearance. All women in the world love beauty. In White Fairy's words, people with high personal ability in the world of cultivation, no matter male or female, rarely see particularly ugly girls. Lin Luoran touches her face. She doesn't want to change her facial features. However, the gathering vitality period is a totally different existence on the road of personal cultivation. Before the age of chaos, only nascent soul stage cultivators had the qualifications to be called ancestor. They could call themselves this seat and had the qualifications to be recognized by the cultivation world as the founder of a sect. For Lin Luoran, the earth-shaking changes brought by the gathering vitality period make her confident to return to the earth. Reiki and Wakan can cast spells, but Meta can cast arts of nature. Arts of nature are more deterrent than folding paper cranes. They can touch the real magical effect of the power of heaven and earth. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and feels it's time for her to go out for a walk. Everyone in the castle is against it. The reason is that she hasn't recovered from her injuries and she can't save herself in danger. Lin Luoran has no choice but to kick a big tree. Sawdust explodes from the heart of the tree. The four young people are speechless. I'm not as weak as you think without using Wakan, am I? A cultivator's body is nourished by Wakan day and night. She has cultivated all the way to the late bearing essence period. How can she be weak? Besides, how can I not have a weapon for self-defense? Lin Luoran finds something similar to a laser sword in the space. She took it on the Edward starship. As soon as she presses the switch, the light blade can cut through ordinary alloys. Even the beasts on the Nami star can't have copper skin and iron bones. Even if you send someone 1,000 miles away, you must say goodbye. Lin Luoran sends the four reluctant young people back. She carries a big backpack and goes on the road alone. In the south of the Nami star, in the hottest place of the whole planet, there is a fault zone similar to the Great Rift Valley of East Africa on the Earth. Two gullies sink and a long ridge rises in the middle. It is the Shurjia Rift Valley, with rich species on the Nami star. Looking down from the air, two green belts sink. The strange landscape looks like two equal scars scratched by a powerful monster. It has always attracted expeditions from various planets of the Nami Alliance. It is very famous in the Nami Alliance. When Lin Luoran carries a mountaineering backpack all the way south and comes to the Shurjia Rift Valley, it has been 2 months since she set off from Maple Leaf City. Lin Luoran goes all the way south because it is at a different pole from Maple Leaf City. Maple Leaf City may be in winter at this moment. The further south Lin Luoran goes, the lush and green vegetation is very pleasant. She only chooses sparsely populated places along the way and inevitably passes many aristocratic estates. Because the Nami star advocates returning to nature, many people working in the fields are ordinary civilians instead of agricultural robots. Generally speaking, there is no exploitation. The aristocrats pay and the civilians work. They talk and laugh loudly in the wheat fields without any dissatisfaction with life. Lin Luoran thinks this is probably the reason why the social classes such as aristocrats and civilians on the Nami star do not conflict with the status quo of the high-tech society. Close to the Shurjia Rift Valley, it is no longer a fief belonging to any aristocrat. This original Rift Valley landform has been preserved in the former interstellar war and belongs to the direct jurisdiction of the Nami royal family. The royal family is rich and invests countless money to maintain the environment every year. Although the Shurjia Rift Valley is vast, it has not been cultivated. Although sandstone accounts for most of the land, the fertile land near the river beach is still barren. Lin Luoran chooses a gentle slope and it takes her a day to get to the bottom of the canyon. It is the winter sinking star. Although there is a river running through the canyon, there is little precipitation every year. Looking up, the winter sinking star looks like a red disk and is about to hide at the other end of the mountain range. In the not-so-turbulent river, hippopotamus eyes can be seen. In the canyon, there is no dense forest. It is more like the African prairie on the Earth before the new era. The species are almost the same, but there are subtle differences. For example, the lion crawling in the forest blends with the color of the withered grass. However, it is more than twice the size of the lion she has seen before. Lin Luoran freezes. Looking at the direction of the lion's ambush, does it intend to ambush her? She glances at the grass. Her calm eyes make the lion stiff and unable to move. It actually gives up the ambush. This thing had some spirituality. Lin Luoran tightens the strap of her backpack and walks over without looking sideways. The lion lies in the grass, paralyzed and sweating. Before the mountain range swallows the last bit of light of the star, Lin Luoran sets up a tent near the water source. The tent is an outdoor product produced by the Nami Alliance. The fabric of the tent is light, but it can definitely defend against wild beasts. There are also many warning devices. There is generally no danger in sleeping in the wild. Lin Luoran travels all the way south and sees the completely different customs of the Nami star. Although it doesn't help much with her injury, she gradually blends into the Nami star on the other side of the distant starry sky. She looks at the flowers and trees under her feet. She is not a passerby, but she gains something and realizes something. Her state of mind is also different. The star sets in the winter and the glow gradually fades away. The shallows are sparkling. Long-beaked birds are fishing and eating. Lin Luoran sees the clear river and becomes interested. She sets up an iron pot and boils a pot of water. She doesn't use Wakan for the time being, but she still has her eyesight and arm strength. She breaks a branch and shoots it into the water. 2 small fish of 3 or 4 inches long are skewered on the branch. The long-beaked birds are shocked at first. When Lin Luoran gets up to pick up the still struggling fish, they flutter their wings and fly away. They feel sorry that they didn't catch the fish just now. Lin Luoran removes the fish scales and intestines. She washes the fish in the shallows and throws the 2 fish into the iron pot. The most important thing to eat fish soup is freshness. In addition to onions and ginger, only natural seasonings such as mushrooms will not destroy the original taste of the fish soup. The iron pot is covered and the firewood is burning steadily. There is a slight aroma. Lin Luoran squints and waits for the food. Watching several long-beaked gulls and herons land in the shallows again, Lin Luoran sees the wonderful scenery of the setting sun, the jumping fish, and the flying birds in the Rift Valley. It is in line with her previous wish to travel the world. Lin Luoran leans against the tent and feels indescribably comfortable and peaceful. Lin Luoran estimates the time and opens the pot. The rolling heat is accompanied by a strong aroma. She extinguishes the firewood. Before she has time to taste the food, her spiritual mind, which is set up 10 miles away, moves. Someone is coming. More than one person. Lin Luoran looks at the group of embarrassed alien creatures and feels that they will not be a threat. She slowly drinks the fish soup and washes the pots and bowls in the shallows. Then there is a rustling sound in the grass. Gary, look! Where are the climbers? 3 men and 2 women, 5 people come out from the direction of the mountains in the middle of the Rift Valley. Lin Luoran doesn't know what happened to them. Except for the leader who is still holding a weapon, the rest seem to have abandoned their life-saving weapons. A young girl in ragged clothes with porcelain skin and 2 lovely tentacles on her forehead is hurt by grass, leaves, and branches. Seeing Lin Luoran cleaning up the pots and bowls in the tent, she calls out to the leader in surprise. Gary is the young leader with a weapon. He is a little dissatisfied when he hears that his team member is the first to shout. However, the experience of the past few days and the embarrassment of the team members makes him, as the leader, have to come forward to chat. Chapter 476. Hey, can you get in touch with the outside world? Gary doesn't speak for a long time. The young girl with tentacles raises her neck. Because she doesn't know which planet Lin Luoran belongs to, she kindly uses the interstellar common language. However, the young girl thinks she is considerate enough. As soon as she says this, not only Gary secretly feels bad luck, but other people also feel uncomfortable. No matter what their identities are, they are asking for help now. The geomagnetic fluctuations of Shurjia Rift Valley have always been irregular, which is one of the reasons why the valley has become a holy place for exploration. Lin Luoran glances at these young people coldly. They have either encountered powerful beasts or fought with people. It seems that their equipment to contact the outside world has also been lost. However, how can someone be so arrogant when asking for help? Lin Luoran feels helpless. She is a spoiled little girl. She has no time to discipline the younger generation because she is neither a relative nor a friend. She calmly cleans up the pots and bowls. She cleans up at the river beach and washes with cold water. Lin Luoran ignores everyone and enters the tent. She puts down the curtain. The arrogant tentacle girl is so angry that her face turns blue. You are so ungrateful. Eudora. Stop it. Gary feels that his eyebrows can't stop twitching. He looks at Eudora unwillingly. He used to think that this cousin is naive, but he didn't expect that she is so stupid. It's all his fault. He shouldn't have brought her to Shurjia Rift Valley. Look at her attitude. If this were on our home planet. Eudora's voice becomes smaller and smaller under Gary's disapproving eyes. She looks aggrieved. The other two men in the team quickly comfort her. After a long time, Eudora stops crying and smiles. Gary originally planned to apologize to Lin Luoran solemnly. However, the light in the tent over there goes out in an instant. The other party clearly doesn't want to deal with them. Gary sighs and looks at the fatigue of the team members. Although the canyon is full of fatal danger, it is estimated that no one can walk in a hurry. After all, he has not slept for a few days and even he is about to collapse. Gary walks back to the team. There is also an open space on the other side of the stream. Let's rest on the other side tonight. Eudora is dissatisfied. Lin Luoran chooses a flat place to set up the tent. The terrain is gentle and the sand is soft. It is also comfortable to sleep at night. It was the same shallow beach, but the opposite shore was full of sand and gravel. Why did they have to go to the opposite shore? Gary ignored her and crossed the stream. He used the long knife in his hand to chop down the weeds and spread them on the gravel. Seeing that the captain did it himself, the rest of the people were embarrassed. They had no time to comfort Eudora, who was like a little princess, and hurriedly ran to help. The few of them fled all the way. If it weren't for the compressed nutrients that Gary carried with him, he didn't even know if he had the strength to run for his life, let alone sleep. Seeing fish in the shallow stream, two male team members, led by Gary, go into the water to catch fish. Eudora and another female team member are laying grass while complaining about Lin Luoran's indifference. Her voice is so low that she thinks only her companions can hear her. Lin Luoran laughs in the tent. She is not obliged to save them. There is no such thing in the Nami Alliance, is there? Too lazy to listen to the brainless girl's complaints, she simply flashed into the space. The three of Gary caught a lot of small fish. It was so noisy that the long-billed gulls and herons didn't dare to fly back to the shallow beach. When they finally made a fire, Eudora had roasted the fish until it was burnt on the outside and raw on the inside. There was no seasoning and the fishy smell was too strong. She spat it out after taking a bite. Gary, how can I eat this fish? Gary listens to his cousin's endless complaints, and his patience finally runs out. Put it down if you don't want to eat it. Don't waste food. Eudora drops the roasted fish. With tears in her eyes, she runs away with red eyes. Eudora. Captain, Eudora, Gary has a headache. Thinking that the canyon is not a completely safe environment, he still chased after her. There are a few big holes in Eudora's mountaineering clothes. Mosquitoes bite her bare skin at night. Hearing footsteps, she turns her head to one side. Gary sighs and hands her a well-cooked roasted fish. Here, you have to eat it even if it is not delicious. Otherwise, you won't have the strength to escape. Eudora sniffles, second brother, will we really escape from here? Those people killed Jenny and the others. Hearing Jenny's name, Gary looks even worse. If Eudora had not insisted on going to the cave, they would not have chased her for no reason. However, as the captain, he feels guilty for not being able to ensure the safety of his team members. Eudora doesn't know the consequences at all. How can he put all the blame on her? Yes, we will. We can leave Shirja Canyon in one day. Besides, we can cover our traces all the way. They won't find our preparation position. Don't worry. Gary carefully picks out the fish bones. Gary is the gentle and meticulous brother again. Eudora feels that the fear in her heart has melted a lot. This time, she doesn't complain that the roasted fish is tasteless and eats it up. The temperature at night in the canyon is very low. The 5 people have no warm things, so they can only choose the primitive bonfire to keep warm. The male team members are arranged to keep watch at night. Eudora and another female team member sleep on the thick weeds. After a few days of exhaustion, they soon fall asleep. Gary looks at Lin Luoran's tent from time to time. If Eudora hadn't offended people as soon as she opened her mouth, it would have been no problem for them to borrow a tent even if they could not contact the outside world. Wild dogs are lurking in the grass half a mile away. The bonfire in front of them makes them drool. However, wild dogs are good at snatching food from the tiger's mouth. They generally won't hunt by themselves. The night is getting darker and there is a thin mist in the canyon. Their eyes are greedy, but they are still waiting patiently. Those large carnivores always can't help it. The bonfire gradually goes out, and the 2 male team members have already dozed off. Gary holds the alloy sword in his hand. It seems that he hasn't relaxed his attention. He has been alert to the movement around him, including the movement of the tent on the other side of the river. Gary will not easily trust any stranger. What is Lin Luoran doing when these poor nobles are eating the stinky roasted fish? She is sitting under a lychee tree, peeling this kind called concubine's smile, one by one while sorting out her collection. Speaking of which, she is really poor as a cultivator in the late bearing essence period. She has no defense at all. If she really wants to gather her vitality, according to White Fairy, Lin Luoran will be struck by thunder. Can't I hide in space when I gather my vitality? Lin Luoran looks at her private manor. It should be the safest and most secret space. White Fairy glares at her. Lin Luoran is a woman, but she still feels numb all over. She shivers. White Fairy is amused by her materialism. Without the test of thunder, how can the Wakan in your body be converted into meta? People in the gathering vitality period used to be called immortals on the earth. They are above the sky and below the ground. If you hide, you can't pass this hurdle for the rest of your life. Sure enough, the Tao of nature is not so easy to fool. Lin Luoran takes out all the things she has saved. It is very difficult to refine a real defensive magic weapon. Not to mention that she is short of materials now. Even if she doesn't lack materials, she can't do anything about it because of her injury. Hey, show me this thing. Lin Luoran picks up the female terracotta figure she stole from Mount Penglai. She is a little excited. Is this a treasure? White Fairy is speechless, the one next to it. Next to the female terracotta figure, there is a blue jade pendant. White Fairy looks at it for a long time. Hearing that Lin Luoran got it from a mermaid, she is sure about it. She feels that Lin Luoran is so lucky. It is a waste for you to gather vitality. It is said that it can even be used in Heaven's Doom of the divinization period. Lin Luoran picks up the blue jade and still can't see anything special about it. However, White Fairy is experienced enough to not talk nonsense. The mermaid once said that this thing can help her fight for a chance of survival in front of the rank 9 monster. If so, what White Fairy said is true. Lin Luoran is about to ask about the strangeness of this thing in detail when the warning spiritual mine she left on the grassland is touched again. Lin Luoran grabs a handful of lychees and leaves the space. Those people are really a scourge. There is a sound of rapid breathing on the other side of the river. Lin Luoran looks up and finds that the battle over there has become one-sided. Has it been taken down in such a short time? Lin Luoran sighs. She doesn't know why these young masters come to Shijia Rift Valley. She peels a lychee and puts it in her mouth. It tastes sweet and seedless, which makes her feel refreshed. Several people on the other side of the river look at each other and fire a fireball. This kind of fireball mixed with special dyes can engulf the tent in an instant as long as it hits it. As a passerby, Lin Luoran is very dissatisfied with being shot. Chapter 477. It is the most annoying thing to be shot while lying down. It is the most immoral thing to kill a passerby. If her only tent is broken, it is said that there is plenty of rain in Shijia Rift Valley in summer. Will she have to sleep on the grassland in the following days? Lin Luoran thinks for a while and feels that the other party is really annoying. She can't kill a chicken with a butcher knife. She pinches a lychee shell in her hand and Lin Luoran throws one at random. Before the small fireball can get close to the tent, it is hit by the lychee shell and deviates from its direction. The fireball is hit back into the water and explodes. The special dye is not extinguished by the water. It floats on the water and burns. Instead, it provides light for the sneak attack and self-rescue on the other side of the river. This is not the usual training in the school. If they lose, they will die. The blood of their companions has already made these young people understand the cruel fact. Although they are not strong enough, they are still resisting stubbornly. Gary sees that the fireball shot to the tent is knocked away. He is delighted. She dares to go deep into Shijia Rift Valley alone. As he expected, the woman is not an ordinary person. They may still have a chance to be rescued. Gary is distracted and he is stabbed by the other party. The sword penetrates more than 2 inches into his shoulder. The other party pulls out the alloy sword and blood splashes everywhere. Gary steps back and his arm is almost cut off by another one. He used to think that Nami Star is too strict to allow private starships to enter. Now he feels lucky. If it were not for the Nami Star's overbearingness, they would not have to face cold weapons at this time. A few of the most ordinary old bullets could easily take their lives. Lin Luoran comes out of the tent. She doesn't know where the intelligent life of interstellar civilization learned the way of self-cultivation. Warriors learn body arts, which are inclined to close combat. Just like yoga on the earth, they can absorb the reiki of heaven and earth on the surface of the planet through a set of specific movements to nourish meridians and strengthen the body. Of course, aliens have no Taoist root. They can never enter Tao by practicing martial arts for a lifetime. Scholars cultivate spirit power. It is said that people with a high level of spirit power have excellent brain development. They are not only academic and scientific talents but also have unique advantages in operating the latest starships and mecha embedded in the nervous system. More importantly, it is said that masters of spirit power have touched the threshold of the use of reiki of heaven and earth. By using spirit power as a primer, they can have supernatural abilities such as fire, water mist, and ice wall. Because they did not have a Taoist root, they could not store spiritual energy in their abdomen and form a self-circulation. Therefore, it was impossible for the mental power practitioners to enter the Tao through their mental power and become cultivators. Lin Luoran suspected that the so-called Taoist root was the bridge between Reiki and the human body and the spiritual mind in the human body. Only by tempering the body, breaking through the spiritual mind, and storing Reiki can one embark on the path of cultivation. The pressure inside the interstellar spaceship is great. Ordinary people can't adapt to the life inside the spaceship. Practicing martial arts has become the most basic requirement for interstellar travel. Lin Luoran watches the arrogant girl being protected in the innermost part of the spaceship. At the same time, she doesn't want to believe that the arrogant girl focuses on spiritual power. Come on, she doesn't look smart. Those who practiced body techniques had soft, light bodies that were filled with explosive power. It is also the first time for Lin to observe a fight of physical skills. The leading young man jumps up high and kicks a man in black's chin. Then he spins around and lands on the ground. His movement is beautiful and effective. Unfortunately, they lacked a suitable weapon. The alloy swords in the hands of others were not to be trifled with. Lin Luoran feels it is a pity that the leading young man is cut twice. She still wants to study the difference between body techniques and Huaxia ancient martial arts. Is the battle about to end? Lady, please help us. The Canberra family of Tuda Star will definitely thank you. The pride and self-esteem of nobles are indeed important. However, what's the use of nobles if they lose their lives? Gary asks for help, but the opponent attacks him more fiercely. Explorer on the other side, this isn't something you should meddle in. Leave now. A man in black says in a low voice. Lin Luoran feels helpless. Do they really think she is a fool? The background of the hunted man has been exposed. The next thing the men in black will do is to kill him. Do I look like an idiot? Lin Luoran murmurs. The leader of the other side is cut all over. If she doesn't help him, he will really die. This is so troublesome. Puff. 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 Before throwing the lychee shells, Lin Luoran locks in with her spiritual mind. The major acupoints of several men in black who want to burn her tent are hit. They fall down stiffly. Gary kneels on one knee and barely props himself up with the alloy sword. The remaining 4 team members look at Lin Luoran with more fear than when facing the men in black. Come on, I am not a ferocious ghost. Considering her image, Lin Luoran doesn't roll her eyes. After eating lychee, her palms are sticky. She squats down to wash her hands in the stream. Seeing that they are still staring at her in horror, she says helplessly, they will not move for about 7 or 8 hours. Why don't you run away? The 5 men in black fell to the ground. Their eyes could see and their ears could hear, but they couldn't move or speak. Fear and despair that they had never experienced before enveloped them. They thought that their lives were over, but when they heard that it would only take 7 or 8 hours, they heaved a sigh of relief. Can't move for 7 or 8 hours. Gary is relieved. He manages to force a smile and then passes out. Gary. Captain, Lin Luoran's eyebrows twitch. She has a feeling that she is in trouble again. Sure enough, a cultivator in the late bearing essence period also has the potential to be a blind fortune teller. Her premonition comes true in less than half an hour. You. Hello, please save Gary. He has lost too much blood. If you don't treat him, he will die. The arrogant girls were not completely useless. They each offered their own clothes and tore them into strips to bandage the seriously injured young man. Unfortunately, they did not have any medicine or equipment. There was still a day's journey to get out of the canyon. If the young man did not receive treatment, he would definitely die. Why should I save him? These people stay by the stream. Do they want to force her to move? In the middle of the night, Lin Luoran wants to drive them away coldly. She scans the young man with her spiritual mind and finds that he is really close to death. Lin Luoran is definitely not a good person. She just hates girls crying in front of her. Tears are really a woman's best weapon. Lin Luoran is annoyed by the crying of the arrogant girl from the Tuda Star. Lin Luoran crosses the stream. The young man is called Gary by his companions. The tentacles on his head are lying limply and his lips are pale and weak. Lin Luoran looks at the terrible bandage. She doesn't know if these useless young masters and daughters have the consent of their families to come to Shijia Rift Valley. She pulls out a few hard grass stalks in the grass and uses the grass as needles to seal several major acupoints on Gary's body. Except for pubic region and ocean of Reiki, the meridians of these aliens are almost the same as those of Earthlings. Lin Luoran has a trace of doubt. Is it inevitable that the evolution of intelligent creatures tends to be similar, or is it possible that the people of interstellar civilization all belong to the same origin? Whether it is the meridians or the appearance, they are too similar. After stopping the bleeding, Lin Luoran looks around the nearby grass. Within 10 meters, she finds a few Panax noto ginseng and some dandelions. She doesn't have any medicine at hand. She can find Chinese medicinal materials casually so as not to expose her space. She crushes the tuber of Panax noto ginseng and applies it to Gary's wound. This thing is good for hemostasis. She is not afraid that the wound will burst open halfway. Here, the tuber of this plant can stop bleeding. The root of this plant can reduce inflammation. You need to boil water to take it. You just need to make sure. These two herbs can be seen everywhere in the wilderness. The trouble is that you don't have utensils. I only have a bowl. Take it. Eudora holds the two herbs tightly in her hands. Plants can be refined into medicine. It is an old story thousands of years ago. She doesn't doubt the efficacy of the medicine. Lin Luoran gives a bowl of fish soup to the dispirited expedition team members and tells them to go quickly. When the men in black can move, they won't be able to get out of the canyon. A young man puts Gary on his back. Eudora thanks Lin Luoran and says goodbye. She asks Lin Luoran's name several times. Lin Luoran doesn't want to talk to such a troublesome person. Eudora says quickly, "We found them in the mountains, stop." Lin Luoran looks at Eudora's puzzled eyes. She points to the men in black and sighs, "They are still listening here. If you tell me the secret, won't you force me to kill them? Otherwise, I will be killed by them." Eudora blushes and says sorry. The four of them carry Gary out of the canyon. The men in black can't speak or move. They can only roll their eyes desperately. Lin Luoran is amused, "I didn't hear your secret. Don't worry. I won't kill you. Of course, if you have to come and disturb my journey, humph. 7 hours. Even if the expedition team composed of rich young masters crawls, they can still keep a distance from the boss. Except for the canyon, they can communicate normally without interference. Lin Luoran pats the shoulders of the men in black. They are so scared that they hold their breath. Lin Luoran turns around and packs up the tent to leave. After the fight here, there is a strong smell of blood. People can't sleep well. How can she rest? She seemed to have subconsciously forgotten how attractive a few immobile assassins were to the pack of wild dogs that were lurking in the surroundings. Lin Luoran carries the mountaineering bag and disappears into the night. A passenger starship lands on the outskirts of Maple Leaf City. Among the passengers, there is an inconspicuous old man with a pug nose. His old eyes are turbid. At first glance, people can tell that he is a poor man from a backward planet. Naturally, no one wants to talk to him. However, the old man with a pug nose has no eyes at all. After entering the city, all the beautiful women are stopped by him and pestered in the name of inquiring about distant relatives. Mrs. Susan goes to visit friends and comes back. She encounters the same pestering. This young lady looks very familiar. Chapter 478. Derek looks at the old man with a pug nose in front of him and sneers, "You mean she is your distant niece?" He can't tell if she is his niece or not. This photo is really old. The old man with a pug nose straightens his back and rolls his eyes, "Do you think we don't look alike? I said she is my distant niece. As for the blood relationship, it is a bit distant. Alas, I come here rashly. I don't know if she still remembers me as her uncle." Hearing the gloomy tone of the pug nose, Derek is still scrutinizing and Mrs. Susan has been wiping her tears frequently. The story of an old man who came alone from afar to look for his relatives, and he was also an old man with one foot in the grave, was enough to arouse Lady Susan's sympathy. "Derek, can you ask for him?" Derek's face is dark and the little freckles on his nose are particularly eye-catching. He is now the person in charge of the barbecue restaurant. In Maple Leaf City, he is the only one who knows where Lin Luoran and others are. The question is that the man with a pug nose who claims to be Mississippi Lin's uncle finds Mrs. Susan at once. Is it a coincidence or someone with ulterior motives? Derek gets in touch with the manor and the reply is that he doesn't know if Lin Luoran has an uncle. None of the young people in the castle knows about Lin Luoran's family. The 4 young people still attach great importance to the man who claims to be Lin Luoran's uncle. Without the wretched temperament, the pug nose still looks like a master. In the video call, he vaguely talks about Lin Luoran's origin. Although he looks like an alien, even the siblings of the Ma family are somewhat convinced. Aunt Lin's uncle is here. What should they call Aunt's uncle? The seniority is really messy. The pug nose is taken into the manor and occupies the largest room in the castle. One day, the cyan little fox comes out of the basement. Its neck is twisted by someone. An old man's face is magnified in front of the cyan little fox. His red and swollen nose is shining. He also covers the cyan little fox's mouth. "Hey, have you been to the Green Mountains?" The cyan little fox recognizes for a moment and then it scratches and bites at the pug nose, struggling fiercely. "Why are you still alive? Damn it, this man obviously has no personal ability at all. How can he live for 3,000 years without dying?" The pug nose is triumphant. "Die? I don't want it. I still need Linny to take care of me when I'm old." The cyan little fox spits on his face. This man is still so shameless after thousands of years. Walking in the valley, Lin Luoran doesn't know that she has a distant uncle. She has been in Shurjia Rift Valley for a month. She keeps company with zebras and watches elephants shake water with their trunks. The scenery that could only be seen in documentaries is now in front of her. The setting sun on the grassland was spectacular, and the early morning on the grassland was full of vitality. After leaving Mount Penglai, this is the first time for Lin Luoran to travel on foot in peace. She once picked up a fallen nut from a tree and smashed it with a stone. The flesh inside was dry and bitter, making her tongue feel tasteless for most of the day. She has tasted a kind of wild vegetable which is said to only grow in Shurjia Rift Valley and is loved by the Nami nobles. Well, she really can't appreciate the taste of the nobles. That kind of wild vegetable grows near the river beach. It is fat, tender and delicious. It is not as chewy as the bracken on the earth. Shepherd's purse, bitter cabbage, bracken, water shield, purslane, plantain, dandelion. Countless rural delicacies make her think of Lee's village hundreds of years later and she doesn't seem to hate it so much. Most of the time, Lin Luoran picks up a few bird eggs and catches a few fish and shrimps to make a meal. She doesn't sleep in the open. She never feels wronged. It seems that the food she eats is simple, but in fact, it is much better than that of other expeditions. Lin Luoran has met several groups of expeditions along the way. Some of them are just fooling around, and some of them are real climbers. No matter which kind they are, after the first encounter, Lin Luoran thinks that places with people represent trouble. Therefore, she stays far away from them and doesn't meet anyone. At this end of the canyon, Lin Luoran has almost observed all the vegetation, animals, mountains, rivers and waters. When she is riding the wild antelope on the grassland, she has decided to cross the middle mountain range and go to the canyon on the other side of the mountain. Lin Luoran's injury has been stabilized. With the magical effect of the blue jade, White Fairy says that she has some confidence to gather vitality. However, if she wants to break the elixir and gather vitality, Lin Luoran needs a huge amount of Reiki that a low-rank cultivator can't imagine. White Fairy means to use the spirit stone she took from the Misty Palace. Lin Luoran feels that her state of mind still needs the last bit of enlightenment, so she is not in a hurry. Maybe she can find a place with abundant Reiki in Shurjia Gorge before she gathers vitality. The Reiki on Nami planet is definitely not abundant in White Fairy's eyes. However, she can't deny that some special terrains have the effect of locking spirits. They can breed Reiki and Spirit Spring. It all depends on fate. If I can't find Reiki, I will use your spirit stone. Lin Luoran smiles and jumps off the back of the wild antelope. White Fairy can't refute and can only agree. Thank you for giving me a ride. Here, you can have some. Handing an apple to the wild antelope, Lin Luoran pats its head and walks into the mountain. Another group of explorers? Is it because Windsor cancelled the wedding that these people think it is not worthwhile to go back and forth empty-handed? So there are so many exploration teams in Shurjia Gorge recently? Lin Luoran pretends not to see them. She carries the mountaineering bag on her back. Every step seems to be slow, but she soon disappears from the sight of the latecomers. Pinch me. Are my eyes deceiving me? Someone is riding the most timid wild antelope for a walk. The man wrapped in mountaineering clothes yells. He can't believe what he just saw. The entire expedition team is silent. It is also the first time for them to see someone who can get close to the wild antelope. Wild antelope is the most stubborn and timid creature on the Shurjia grassland that never gets close to people. For Lin Luoran, such an expedition is just a small episode. She carries the mountaineering bag and strides among the rocks. The closer she gets to the mountains, the more she can feel the calling of Reiki. Lin Luoran feels that there must be Reiki hidden in the mountains. Based on her feeling, she walks in the mountains for 2 days. The unusual place is a deep natural cave. There are several corpses lying at the entrance of the cave. They are dressed in black. They may have been dead for 2 weeks. Thinking of the expedition team that was hunted when they first entered the canyon, Lin Luoran feels her forehead. Is this the reason why they were hunted after discovering the secret? Sure enough, she doesn't need to look for trouble. Trouble will naturally come to her. The deep cave exudes a fatal attraction. Lin Luoran uses her spiritual mind to explore it. She only finds that the deeper she goes, the thicker the Reiki is. However, there is no living person. There are many corpses in the cave. Lin Luoran examines the corpses in black. The hot weather has made them smelly and rotten. However, it can be seen that they died in a fight. Money moves people's hearts. Spirit stones are also good things for Nami Alliance people who pursue longevity. They snatch food under the nose of the Nami royal family. Lin Luoran doesn't know which force these people are from. Unfortunately, they are all dead. She doesn't know whether it is a traitor or a traitor. With her personal ability at this time, casting a few simple fireball spells does not affect her injury. Lin Luoran burns the corpses at the entrance of the cave. She explores all the way down the cave and burns the corpses she meets. When she walks to the bottom of the winding cave, she is dazzled by the devastating colorful light. It can be seen that there are traces of mining here. The semi-artificial cave stretches for dozens of feet and is full of spirit stones that are half inlaid in the mountain. Red, green, blue, brown, and yellow, is this the place of the 5 elements? This place is like a place arranged by God for you to gather vitality. White Fairy mutters to herself. She is deeply frustrated by Lin Luoran's luck. Maybe the Taoist root of the 5 elements is not a waste of personal ability at all. Lin Luoran thinks of the sudden increase of the expedition team and the heavy casualties of the men in black. She sighs, I'm afraid this place has been exposed. It is a pity that the blessed land where the 5 elements gather is not a place for self-cultivation. White Fairy covers her mouth and smiles, how can you forget that I am here? She has been practicing illusion spells for thousands of years. It is not difficult for ordinary people to see this cave. White Fairy goes to arrange like a gust of wind. Lin Luoran also calms down. She chooses the place with the densest Reiki and sits down. She begins to breathe and train Qi. Every long breath he took was for the spirit energy to better enter his body. Lin Luoran has never encountered a place for personal ability enhancement that is completely compatible with her Taoist root. When she first enters the treasure house, her body responds faster than her heart. Lin Luoran has been cultivating for more than 300 years. She has seen the joys, sorrows, and joys of the mortal world. She has been tempered by the secular world. She is like an old bamboo that has lived for hundreds of years and tends to be indifferent. Lin Luoran is right. She is calm and balanced. She has a clear conscience and is not entangled by killing. She has the confidence to gather vitality. Cultivators in the gathering vitality period can live up to 1,000 years. They can establish their own school and call themselves ancestors in the world of cultivation. These are the glory of cultivators in the gathering vitality period. At this time, Lin Luoran only wants to live up to her heart. Chapter 479. Boss, do you think the news is true? Chewing coconut milk candy, the explorer wearing a hat shows his pointed ears. He looks down at the instrument in his hand carefully. The geomagnetism in Shurjia Rift Valley is irregular. He didn't expect to find the destination by the instrument. However, this place is full of messy codes. Isn't it too weird? They are not the only expedition team stationed on the nearby mountain. In the past month, explorers with ulterior motives have searched the central mountain range of the rift like sweeping the ground. It is a credit to them to find this place. However, according to the information they got, there should be a natural karst cave here. The landmark is not wrong. Did someone deliberately release fake news to fool everyone? No wonder everyone makes wild guesses. There is no cave here. Instead, there is a sinkhole with a radius of more than 10 meters and a depth of about 100 feet. There are no less than tens of thousands of snakes at the bottom of the sinkhole. Most of them are highly poisonous. They go out to hunt along the wall of the sinkhole and entangle each other into a dead knot. The slippery and cold visual scene is enough to make the experienced and knowledgeable expedition teams feel numb. The place that can produce spirit stone mines must be one of the best blessed places in the whole continent or even the whole planet. People in the Nami Alliance don't know feng shui, but they can tell what kind of place makes people feel refreshed. It is definitely not such a snake pit. After 2 weeks of stalemate, some expedition teams have tried to go down the snake pit. Many people have seen it with their own eyes. The adventurers who have ventured down are pulled into the deep pit by snakes in the blink of an eye. The snake venom corrodes people into a pile of bones in front of everyone's eyes. They are drowned at the bottom of the sinkhole where thousands of snakes are surging, no bones are left. Using fire was actually the best way to do it. The expedition team that carried out this method was attacked by a group of snakes. They were teased by the group of snakes and went crazy, which sounded an alarm for their peers. Use neurotoxin. Damn it, it doesn't have much effect on these old poisonous creatures. The expedition team misses large-scale weapons very much. Unfortunately, the place where they are staying is the Nami Star with the most stringent security checks in the Alliance. The place they want to go is Shurjia Rift Valley, which belongs to the royal family. Even if the Heidel family, which belongs to the Nami Alliance, wants to make trouble, they have to use the handsome man trick. It can be imagined how crazy it is to transport weapons to the Nami Star. How nice it would be to bring a particle shell. These poisonous snakes will be vaporized in an instant, the explorer with the cowboy hat sighed sullenly. In return, he received a cold stare from the leader of the expedition team. Unless you can disassemble the particle accelerator into 213 pieces and replace them with all the bones in your body. After passing the security check, I'll restore the particle accelerator and let you try it out. Pointy Ears thought of the scene described by the leader. After removing the particle accelerator, he would become a pile of rotten meat. How would he be able to aim? Boss, it's not practical to ask one person to bring them in. If we split them up, has no one ever thought of breaking weapons into small pieces and bringing them to the Nami Star through human bones? The more Pointy Ears thought about it, the more he thought it was a good idea. The leader stared at him as if he was an idiot. Exploration is an art. Can you shut up? If everyone carried weapons of mass destruction, they wouldn't be explorers. They would be galactic mercenaries living in the dark, such as the group of people on the opposite mountain. Smuggling weapons into the Nami Star. Humph, even if they find the spirit stone vein, can they take all of them away? Interstellar mercenaries who don't know how to make a fortune in silence are born to be the sworn enemies of explorers. It's really annoying. The leader of the expedition secretly thinks. The pointy ears of the alien in the hat move. Boss, it looks like it's going to rain. The summer in Shurjia Rift Valley is still coming to an end. The weather changes suddenly and the air humidity increases obviously. Each expedition team has its own weather forecaster and they all return to the camp to take shelter from the rain. Only the mercenary group that comes later looks disdainful. Compared with the hearsay of these expeditions, they have got the exact news that there is an amazing spirit stone mine at the place where the snake pit is located. The organization that found the spirit stone mine is in internal strife. If they don't take advantage of this, the leaders of the mercenary group will feel ashamed. In front of huge interests, the authority of the Nami Star is not invincible. In addition to the incident of the royal heir, the Nami Star is stable but also chaotic. It gives the mercenary group confidence to smuggle spirit stones out. Number 1, aim. Number 1 got it. It has been aimed and is ready to fire. Number 2, in position. Number 2 is in position, waiting for orders. The dark clouds in the sky are getting thicker and thicker. Raindrops fall densely, blurring the mercenaries' sight. The rolling clouds obscure the light of the star. The sky suddenly darkens and the air pressure is so low that people can't breathe easily. All the expeditions and mercenary groups present can't help but look up at the sky above their heads at this moment, the rotating mass of air, the thick clouds, the flickering arcs of lightning, the muffled and overlapping sounds of thunder, a lightning bolt as thick as a bucket suddenly struck down, striking the 10,000 snake sinkhole. Before the scene of snake meat flying and snake blood splashing could be seen, the 10,000 snakes pit disappeared without a trace, revealing a deep hole that extended underground. It's fake, the mercenary group and the exploration team were dumbfounded. However, the ground that had been corroded by the rain was now filled with lightning. Although they were not the main targets, the exploration team and the mercenary group had been unlucky enough to be within the range of the thunder disaster. The dull thunder shakes the mountains. In the deep karst cave, Lin Luoran's eyes are closed and she looks peaceful. A beautiful piece of aqua blue jade floated above her head. When the lightning struck it, it seemed to be completely absorbed. Lin Luoran is experiencing the drastic change of breaking the golden elixir and condensing gathering vitality at this moment. If she can survive the thunder doom, she will be promoted to a gathering vitality cultivator. She will be able to learn a very useful art of nature. The scientific and technological civilization has not found a way to deal with this kind of power which is beyond spells. Lin Luoran can return to the earth openly. If she fails, she may not even be able to choose the road of recultivation. Being killed by the thunder is the normal result of failing the test. Gathering vitality cultivators already have primordial spirit. If she dies, the best ending for her is to cultivate her primordial spirit, just like White Fairy. Cultivation has always been a single log bridge. Once you step on it, you can only move forward or fall into the abyss. There is no chance to return. The 4 golden elixirs in her pubic region have long been broken. Lin Luoran's pubic region becomes chaotic again. Abundant Wakan is compressed in her pubic region. This is her personal ability of more than 300 years. The golden elixir has been broken, so Lin Luoran has to shape her gathering vitality in the thunder. There is not much time left for her, and the thunder above her head has not stopped. Lin Luoran is surprisingly in meditation. In front of her eyes, she sees the path of personal ability enhancement in the past 300 years. The pain of being betrayed by her boyfriend and the anger when others trample on her family bracelet. When the space of the sacred pearl is opened, she eats the flame fruit, and purifies her marrow in a half-awake state. After changing her physique, a door is opened. She picks the black epiphyllum on the cliff and breaks through the ocean of consciousness. From then on, she really embarks on the path of personal ability enhancement. The Nameless Training Chi spell, taught by Master Jia, the ignorant path of personal ability enhancement, the accident of Baojia, and the first time she discussed Tao with Master Mu and Master Gua are still vivid in her mind. She has learned many spells. When her personal ability is improved, she can even fight against starships. However, what Lin Luoran remembers most is the hard practice and fascination when she secretly learned the fireball spell. The secret land at the bottom of the sea in Bermuda, the silent giant turtle, the white fairy under the abyss, and the monkey wine secretly collected by the old monkey. For her, in addition to spirit herbs, she also gained the friendship of Wen Guanjing and Li Shi, in the secret land of Bermuda. The female corpse in the crystal coffin is exactly the same as the white fairy, and the monster bat suppressed under the magnetic mountain all bring her a lot of trouble. Qingqing Taoist Temple specializes in magic figures. They could have been friends. However, the development of things is unpredictable. After 3 years of training in the Blood Pool Underground Palace, she lays foundation in one fell swoop. Stumbling, but no major twists and turns. She used to think that her life would be leisurely and happy personal ability enhancement with her family like this. The drastic changes after returning from Mount Penglai make her almost crazy overnight. Until she finds Baojia in the distant Nami alliance, they are good friends. They stand in different camps. Lin Luoran's personal ability enhancement for more than 300 years is concentrated in one place. She has a mixture of 5 flavors, but most of them are sweet. Although it is mixed with bitterness, compared with other living beings, Lin Luoran feels that God has treated her well. Even though she is getting farther and farther away from the original simple dream, Lin Luoran always believes that life will return to the right track with her own efforts. 2 acres of thin land, a hut, and 3 or 5 friends get together from time to drink. The smoke curling up from the chimney and the immortal path she is looking forward to are like a picture in her dream. It is a dream that Lin Luoran is willing to devote her whole life to. Does she regret it? If she doesn't cultivate, her family will not be rich. She may live an ordinary life. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran is a little confused. The thunder above her head is even louder. It seems that Lin Luoran has reached a critical moment. Thunder for Doom has completely destroyed the entrance of the cave, and the whole small mountain has been flattened. This kind of abnormal phenomenon has long attracted the attention of the Nami people. The royal family, nobles, and all the slightly capable forces are rushing to Shijia Rift Valley. In the manor, only the wretched pug nose is staring at the direction of the canyon with some expectation. Cyan Little Fox is tense, not knowing whether Lin Luoran can survive this. Confusion flashes in Lin Luoran's eyes. She asks herself. She has never regretted cultivation. A mass of wacken is scattered in the pubic region. Bathed in the thunder for doom, it is full of vitality. The golden elixir is broken, and the wacken wandering everywhere finally condenses. When the wacken stops moving, a vivid Lin Luoran appears in the pubic region. Her eyes are closed, and her fingers are interlocked. There is a colorful plum flower between her eyebrows, and the petals are only bright in 3 colors, red, blue, and green. The beautiful eyes of the fly Apsara's painted sculpture in the ocean of consciousness move. A group of virtual shadows rushes down and pounces on the gathering vitality. Lin Luoran feels that her soul is a little torn. When the little baby girl opens her eyes and smiles at her, Lin Luoran suddenly realizes that the virtual picture is the so-called primordial spirit, right? The primordial spirit attaches to the gathering vitality. This is what a gathering vitality cultivator can rely on after death. From then on, only when the primordial spirit is destroyed, the female cultivator named Lin Luoran in this world will really disappear. The gathering vitality is condensed, and the primordial spirit appears. The last season of Thunder for Doom falls with all the power. Cultivation is to fight for life with the heaven. The Tao of Heaven is clear. Only the cultivator who successfully passes the doom can advance to the gathering vitality. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.